Oh, let's take a look.
Afrofish OG.
What is going on, everyone? It is Afro back again on the Afro in the Know podcast. Today, we are having a special guest here, all the way from Twitch and TikTok. We got Mr. Phil's here. How's it going, my dude?
That completely kicked my ass in terms of production value. I'll tell you what in the hell? My God, I'm sitting here thinking like you know what I got on my stream? I think you've seen my stream. I just got like a beach background and like that's it. This man has a whole full-on intro. Like my word, I need to step my game up. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Like honestly, between the film, I'll tell you right, that film was not by me. That was by someone else that made it for me. But my music, actually, I got a buddy of mine was like, hey, $50 if you make me an intro. And he's like, okay.
Hell yeah.
So good enough. And I was like, the rest of the editing is on me though. But I love it. Like I love the intro, and I'm like, every time I sit there, I'm just like,
we love supporting creatives. That's for damn sure. I gotta get with my friend. I gotta show you my friend Jesse. Amazing creator, bro. I keep trying to bully him to get back in the game again. He's just been doing a lot of music lately. Really fantastic sample. I gotta show you his stuff, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, I would love to see it for sure. But I know today is the day that we talk about the Superman.
Yes, sir.
The Superman, the ultimate super Giga Chad of hope. And I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
So I'm gonna let you know. So before I came in here, I have a confession to make. Now it's not the case, but before I watched this Superman, the 2025 one, I have never seen Man of Steel. And I decided right before the podcast, I was like, let me go ahead, rent it on YouTube, sit my ass down to see what it's about. And because a lot of my approach to the Snyderverse and my opinions are largely built from that. And I don't know how you feel about it. And I don't know how anybody in the chat's going to feel about it. That just god-awful Justice League movie, that the 4-hour cut that I was just I sat down with my friends and watched the whole thing and was flabbergasted at just how weird and strange and how much I disliked everything I saw on screen in comparison to 2025. And now going and watching Man of Steel, I do have a little bit more of a nuanced opinion because I don't think Man of Steel is anywhere near as bad as people are making out to be. But there are some really strange story decisions and some really strange things going on in that film that made me go, that Superman 2025 is still the GOAT by comparison, for sure.
That's definitely fair. And we will for sure get into that. And, you know, when it comes to Man of Steel, I went back and I didn't watch the full thing, but I went back and kind of like watched some clips and pieces and all that other kind of stuff, just trying to re-see like what did I miss? There's anything that I missed, because I've watched that movie multiple times. Like my brain is great when it comes to watching, like when it comes to movies and everything else, but I'm not gonna lie, I can never get the shit I need to do correct.
Right.
But like when it comes to Man of Steel and just like some opening thoughts on it, I agree. I remember when I first watched it back in 2013. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I don't think the movie was bad. I enjoyed. There's a lot of stuff I enjoyed in it in terms of like, especially visually. Like I think visually it's very appealing. I think that like Henry Cavill isn't bad in his role as Superman, if that makes sense. I think he has the physical look of it, definitely.
Yeah.
I liked seeing Krypton. I actually didn't mind seeing Krypton being this, like right before it went out. Some of the costume designs were really, really cool and stuff. I'm just not a huge fan of like the more, what I call it, a little more dreary look.
It's like the Snyder cut look. He has a particular kind of grime that he sort of associates his films with, a sort of filter he kind of puts over everything that it's got. I would call it like hyper realistic, where it's like it's trying its damnedest to make it seem like almost like a found footage kind of thing. There's a lot of angles that I saw during the fight scenes and a lot more of the more intense action moments where you get these like crazy crash zooms into tons of different areas, and you're like, oh, it's like a handheld camcorders in the air, and it's like that's Snyder loves that shit. He's such a huge fan of it, and it's just in every single film from 300 and on that he has done. And it's like it's cool that you could see a person's style, but man, is it just like not the right fit for Superman whatsoever.
No, it's really not. And I think that's the part of Man of Steel that kind of bugs me is it's that overall kind of feel that you get from Man of Steel.
Mhm.
And the more darker tone, between the darker colors of his suit, just the overall dark aesthetic of it. I'm not a fan super huge of a dark aesthetic unless you're going to go all in on it, right?
Yeah.
Why I love the absolute universe right now. Like, yes, it's dark and stuff, but it's made to be, especially when Darkseid's the one that literally is creating these worlds for them.
Mhm.
If you remember the metal version, the dark metal series or whatever. The dark metal series where you have the Batman who laughs and the Red Death and all of them, right?
Right.
If you're gonna go in, go all in. Like I'm fine with that. I love that shit. But when it came to Man of Steel, I always felt my biggest problem was like the dark aesthetic just doesn't fit for a lot of these DC characters that you want to tell. Especially
100% with Batman, it does. There's a couple that absolutely they fit the bill in the description for the dark and brooding nature. But someone like Superman, I mean, you see this movie just from the get go, and there's a lot of TikTok because I'm not super familiar with the comic books myself. I've always been more of like I watch the movies, and then my little brother, huge comic book nerd, so I get most of my knowledge and most of my know-how about the ins and outs of that industry from him. And he was showing me he happened upon a TikTok the other day, and it was Superman sitting there on construction, basically like hundreds of feet in the air, with some guy just having like a lunch, just talking about his life, like what's going on, how's it affecting him. Then he gets like basically a super hearing call from Lois, and she's like, "Hey, come on down here, farm boy, we got something for you." And he turns to the guy and he's like, Superman, you don't have to keep doing this, man. I'm just some like ex-convict that you put away. He's like, "No, man, you're my friend. Like, I'm here to check in on you." Like, that's what it is. That's Superman. That's that feeling that I did not get from Man of Steel, which was so. The way I looked at it was Man of Steel focused so much more on the super aspect of the Superman name, whereas Superman 2025 focused on the man aspect of it. And I would argue that is easily the most important part about the Superman character is his just this alien that seems otherworldly and godlike is actually brimming with humanity in every way, shape, and form. And his hope and his kindness radiates in such a way that it envelops everyone and everything around him. And just this endless optimism in a world that's beset on all sides by just, tyranny, horrible shit, miserable things happening all at the same time. And it's just like, my God, bro, like this person, this thing that should be better than us, this guy that stands above us, is just like everyone else somehow. It's an incredible feeling. It's like the best way I've seen Superman. And I went from being not a Superman hater, but like a Superman kind of like I'm in the I don't really give a shit about him from this movie to being like he might just kind of take the top spot from Spider-Man for me. I'm kind of fucking with Superman heavy right now.
that's fair. That's super fair. And Nico, we will get into that too because I don't remember him actually using X-ray vision throughout the movie at all. Not saying you can't. To me, it's one of those things where if they're usually not done on screen or nothing, like usually I don't know. I don't want to say that he has it. He has the ability. I know he does in the comics, but I know like comics sometimes and in stuff in movies change. But yeah, and that's why I think I loved with this Superman 2025. I don't know what they're gonna just Superman 2025, I guess. Um,
Mhm.
is I loved the feel I got from it. Like I loved this guy who has, despite the fact that he's trying, he's trying to do the best he can. And also it made it made his confrontation. And just so you guys know too, this is gonna be heavy spoilers, so I don't know what else to tell you. But it made his confrontation the little bit with Lois. I love that. I loved it in the
Oh
trailer,
yeah.
and I loved it even more. And I love the fact that um like even when she's getting under his skin, because I think you mentioned it, I think possibly was it's a difference between morality versus legality.
Yeah.
And I thought that was and it's very true. But what I love the most about it is the fact that she says something about herself, saying that, like, what was it, like, why she's bad at relationships or something.
Hmm.
Um, and Superman, yeah, he gets kind of like, what did you say? But he doesn't say anything afterwards. Like, he could have made some sort of snide comment. He could have said anything. He just doesn't say anything about and I think, to me, that's something that is just a bit, it's more mature. It's a more mature stage. It's not like it's a huge thing, but it also shows that even when he had the chance to say something snarky, he just doesn't do it.
Superman's
Um,
emotional intelligence is at an all-time high to the point where it seems like naivete. That's
mhm,
the craziest thing with this character and how they present him, is because on some level, you and I, as human beings who exist in this world, the red tape, the minutia, the bullshit that Lois Lane brings up, we understand it. But for someone like him, who's just like technically an elevated being, right, an ascended person, but elevated to a point in which he's not trying to look down on people, but to be like, it was simple. There were people who were weak. I was stronger than the idiots in control. I stopped them, and I made sure that those people can continue to live their lives. Why are you giving me shit about that? And it seems
mhm,
naive to literally everybody else, but it's just like it's in the grand scheme of things, that is the right answer. That is the moral and just answer, and that is why I love his just staunch ability to just be like, no, and I will stand for what I believe in, because I know you're wrong. I know that no matter what happens, when you want to hurt people, you're wrong. And that's the same thing with the Lois Lane conversation, is that he knew that she was wrong, but like he wasn't going to try to push the subject. He had the emotional intelligence to back away and be like, I'm going to let her stew on this. I'm going to let her understand. And then, when they had a conversation with the cyber dimensional being in the background, which is one of my favorites, is this emotional moment between them, and he's drinking hot cocoa, and you see this wonderful fight happening in the background. And I love James Gunn so much. The man who will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a moment that is far and over hell away, and it's just like, no, you're not. Fuck them. It's about these two people right now. These are the most important people, and it's so good. I love. Oh God, I could gush about this movie forever.
no, it's fair. And I almost even forgot about that part too, because it is not only is it visually appealing and just kind of hilarious, because God forbid those side characters really kicked it into high gear.
Hmm.
This is some of the strongest I think I've seen when it comes to side characters, and I absolutely love them. But I think what I love the most is the fact that, yes, their relationship, Lois and Clark's, are both so. I think it's just really well done.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
just so, it felt genuine to me. You have is just two adults who don't really know how to make things work in a situation that is so difficult for them. Hell, we've seen it in other comics, we've seen it in different other renditions, and I'm fine with that. One of the gripes I had people talk about was, well, Superman, when he's Superman, is more stoic, and I'm like, well, you guys just forget that Clark and Superman are the same exact person. Like,
Hmm.
a lot of times, I think people kind of take it as like a Bruce Banner Hulk situation, right? Where they try to, they can, what is that word? Compartmentalize the fact that there's two separate people,
Right.
but in reality, there's not. I mean, as soon as Clark finds out about the Fortress of Solitude and stuff, he is gone in a heartbeat.
Hmm.
Like, it is, and I loved the fact of how he treats the robots, despite the fact the robots having no actual emotion. He
Allegedly, we have no
allegedly,
emotion, but call me Gary, and I
call me
love I
Gary.
love making you happy. Allegedly,
Yeah, and I loved that. I loved seeing um just Clark being like everything that Superman does in this movie. I just am so happy with. Uh the saving of the little girl, the saving of the squirrel. Like
Saving of the squirrel's a big one.
like
The making the dog being pushed away by his breath, the saving the squirrel. It's like it goes beyond like it's not just about humanity, it's about life. Life is sacred to Superman, not just humans. Life
mhm.
entirely is
Well,
sacred.
him trying to save the Titanic monster.
Yeah.
Like him trying to save the Titanic monster and being like, no, we can study this. We can figure out what is, this is for the benefit of everyone. And then as soon as he gets killed, he's just like, well, fuck.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's kind of pissed. He's like, what now you made this huge mess that I probably got to clean up. Like, what do you I could have
Mhm.
just done this. Like, what? I could have figured something out. And the Justice Gang, which we know what they're going to be later on,
Oh my god, the
just
justice.
being the fucking weirdos that they are. And oh man, listen,
Mhm.
Mr. Terrific stole the show. We all know that.
Oh,
But
Mr.
shout
Terrific
outs to
stole it.
Nathan Fillion for the perfect Guy Gardner, bro.
The fact that they even take a dig at his hair, I loved it. like Guy Gardner is, in my opinion, what most people with powers in like would be like.
Yeah,
Just a douche. Like just a
yeah.
fucking douche. And even the fact of like when he's like waving his hand or whatever, and he's got the big middle fingers coming up, fucking and
Weirdly enough, this is a weird character to associate him with at that end. You ever seen the new Top Gun movie?
mm-mm,
So there's a character in where called Hangman, and they call him that because he's really good at what he does, but he'll always hang you out to dry, essentially.
mm-mm.
And that, like he's got this very like cocksure like attitude of his, and he's just like whatever. And by the end of the movie, not super spoilers, but he kind of has his own character arc where he doesn't do that anymore. And I get that same feeling from Guy Gardner, where it's like he's an asshole. Yeah, he's a fucking he's a little prick, but he's like, you know what? God damn it, Soups was right, bro. We gotta go save these people. Boom, boom, boom. It's so cool.
No, exactly. And I think, I loved that little confrontation between the Justice Gang and Lois.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because they're just not doing anything. Like I mean, Guy Gardner. I was super skeptical when I first saw Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not mad at it, but it's just kind of goofy. And then it just was like, yeah, no, he sold me. He got it. I want
Yeah.
to see him in something else. Same with I was actually, to be honest with you, I was expecting Mr. Terrific to die. I was like, fuck, this guy is cool. I love him. He's going to die. I know it.
I don't know if I ever saw any death flags raised for him, especially after the insane fight scene that they choreographed for him. I'd just be like, that had been a really a strange choice to get rid of a character that you just literally crafted this moment for in probably one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. And it's weird because you don't really see what's happening, but that's like half the fun of that one specifically.
Mhm.
Is that you just kind of it's just Lois like, oh man, what in the actual shit is happening right now? I love it. That
I mean,
fight scene was incredible.
and it makes sense too because she's used to seeing like Superman going around and flying, but then you see these little like tech ball things flying everywhere, and I love that he's not killing them, like he's just
No.
he's knocking them out or tasing them or something, and I'm glad because it gives him a little bit to me more depth than just being like just the smart one.
Yeah.
But it also at the same time, I was like, bro, I'm like, how does it feel to play Dynasty Warriors on easy mode? Like,
This man just turned the entire camp into a Muso training ground, bro. He's just sitting there like, do not pursue Lubu. Nah, he better not come for me. Fuck him.
just kept on walking, and I'm like, oh, okay, damn. Like, I loved it. I loved the Justice Gang in there. My only gripe was there was maybe a little more with Hot Girl, but there's the thing is with Hot Girl, there's only so much you can do. Like, so I think with her, she kind of got left out a little bit, but I think she was more of the cool moment kind of character. At least
Absolutely.
in my
They gave her, for me, arguably, I think the one moment I know everybody in our theater was like, yeah, we're gonna stand up, get that motherfucker. Like they gave her that moment, and I was like, you know what? That's a really good trade-off for like not having barely any lines in the film. Is you are the one doing the thing. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Well, especially again considering that her biggest line is like "Caca," so like I mean,
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I think all three of them in the Justice Gang were hilarious, and but at the same time, they. I will say this too: Guy Gardner did not go through a character arc. He's just
Nope.
doing what he's told right now.
Yep.
But going with like more of the positives that I will say, I'm glad that the messaging in this was very unapologetic. It was not we're trying to play both sides. We know what we wanted, the story we wanted to tell, and this is what we were doing. And I want to say I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I think
Right.
you remember I was talking to you about it when you joined my stream a little
Mm.
while ago. I was a bit more animated about it. But I remember saying Marvel could never sit there and allow James Gunn to have a hardline, somewhat political stance in the ground of like, no, kindness is punk rock through and through. And that is incredible. And if they keep allowing James and I think the other guy he's working with to have that same level of control, the MCU's got another thing coming, bro. They're on the outs, because if this is what the actual future of the DCU is going to be, I am more than excited. I mean, between this and I think was it the Creature Commandos, which has also been confirmed part of the whole DCU as well.
I have not seen Creature Commandos. Is it good?
I haven't seen it myself. I've heard literally nothing but good things. I've seen every single not to go there right now, but you've seen the state of the world. I've seen every single GI robot edit I possibly can, and people just popping off and being like, man, we love Nazi killing robots. It's so cool.
I'll have to definitely. Oh, that's where the GI robot came from?
They came from the Creature Commandos. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to go and check out Creature Commandos, because it was one of those where I think it's on Max, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. So, or no, it's HBO Max now. I think they went back to.
I don't want it, dude. Warner Brothers.
Oh, what a company that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, it's oh man. Listen, I will never forgive him over the Wile E. Coyote movie, bro. I just won't. How you gonna as a small aside, how you gonna have a whole movie finished and be like, nah, fuck it. No, we won't sell it to anybody.
I won't forgive them over the whole Wonder Woman video game being canceled.
Oh my god, yeah. I just heard about that recently.
Yes, I was like, this was gonna be dope, and they're like, yeah, we just didn't know what to go through. And I was like, have you tried opening one of the books?
Oh my god, bro.
But like, leave it to Warner Brothers to basically to shoot themselves in the foot multiple times.
Times, dog. Someone was sort of going like, oh yeah, the Steam sale's happening, and here's like your favorite DC video games. And it's like each and every one of them were like failed live service games, and a part of me like, oh god.
Like, what do we got
My
besides
heart goes
Batman?
Huh?
Like, what do we got besides Batman?
Right. And you're just like, because like, you know what, man? I was one of those weird controversial figures who's like, I don't know, Suicide Squad looked like a lot of fun until he was just kind of shooting at that weird purple mass in that one gameplay video. Because I love shooters with movement. Like, if you literally, I'm such a simpleton. If someone says you can run on walls and do like baseball slides, I'll play your video game no matter what. I don't know what it is. It could be anything. But you put like parkour movement in something, I'm in. So I remember watching and being like, oh man, Suicide Squad looks so good. And then I got into, I can't talk about that legally, the alpha, but I can talk about the beta I got into and be like, man, this is a choice. This is certainly a choice for a video game for sure. Because it wasn't bad, but like in comparison to like the Arkham games, which are still influential. And I mean, you've got so many like Sifu, Acts of Blood, I think was just recently come out. Like so many games essentially aping a lot of that combat system that was created in Arkham.
Spider-Man did it.
Spider-Man did it. Yeah. And allegedly, I don't know if you've seen the Wolverine leaks. That one's very similar too. So, yeah. So it's just like this incredibly influential franchise, and I just hate like another story of another studio starting off so strong, and then some dickhead publisher shows up and goes, "Yeah, but what if you did a live service game? Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be really cool?" Okay, everyone, you work on that instead.
No, that's true because I actually really did like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. It's kind of a like I played it. I'm not. I would put it at like a. I probably put it like a 6, like a 6 out of 10. I don't think the game is bad. I think there's if you were just playing it, just goofing around with friends and stuff, you're gonna have a really fun time with it. But yeah, it's just one of those games where you're to me, I'm like, I see the positives in it and I see the negatives, but I'm really trying to focus on the positives right now because
Yeah.
it's when I take it as its own standalone system, yeah, it's fun. Like I don't mind it. Like I'm shooting robots, flying around. Like I love playing as Captain Boomerang. Um, he was actually super fun to play with. Like the fact of just the way that the boomerangs function and stuff like that were actually really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but like when I started digging into the actual story person the point of it and all this, and I'm like, I don't care.
hmm
Like, and I
A
think
lot of character assassination being required to get anyway. That being Kevin, so I'm always a little iffy because like the fact that two of Kevin Conroy's posthumous performances come down to Suicide Squad and DMC, the Netflix anime, which I
Mhm.
enjoyed. I'm gonna
I
say,
liked
by
it.
the way,
I liked it. Like I had fun with
I
it.
as a huge consummate DMC fan, I enjoyed it. Do I think it was really weird and fucked up and kind of strange in certain areas? 100%. I'm not gonna sit there and fault people for even hating it. But I watched it with my little brother and I looked at him and I was like, that's kind of fun. It's not really Devil May Cry, but it was kind of fun, you know?
Mhm.
And it's just so weird to like think about our boy Kevin Conroy and like these are the two performances he went out on, or these like very like divisive things, and it kind of it hurts my heart a little bit, but it also it's great to see that he even at the end of his life he was just like, nah man, I'm giving it my all, I'm doing my
Mhm.
thing. It was
No,
so
Tony
good.
Tony Todd the same way. I
Yeah.
mean, Tony Todd's last role was Final Destination Bloodlines.
God, I haven't seen, I want to watch it too. I forgot it started comes back. I want to watch that movie so bad.
So it's
I have a weird love for those movies, I really do.
that's fair. It's just it's the creativity where you're just like, oh, okay, damn. Like I didn't realize that if my Kleenex just tossed across the room. Like,
That
like,
shit gonna be coming back looking at my room like a Rube Goldberg machine. Like some of this shit's gonna kill me in my sleep.
oh
It's
yeah,
weird.
like everything in my room now is gonna be padded.
Yeah.
But but also going back to the Superman, I I wanted to say, we talked about some of the side characters, but some of the side characters that I don't think got enough love of it was, between Jimmy Olsen. I love Jimmy in this one.
hmm
I don't know much about Jimmy Olsen, to be honest with you. Like, and I don't feel like you ever fully do. But
No,
making Jimmy like the whole she has mutant toes thing actually cracked me the fuck up.
it was so funny because, like, you know what, man, I I hate to say it. I think everyone's got a relationship they can go back and be like, man, but their toes, dog. Everyone's got. There's always one person. I feel like every person has that same. Where it's like, why they got that weird on his toes, dog? They're the perfect human being. Look at their toes.
I think what I love the
No,
most still is the fact of like how everyone's like, how did Jimmy score there? Like, like, how did Jimmy score her? But
so apparently, according to my friends, because like I've been talking to a lot of my friends who are very into the comics, Jimmy's always apparently been a player. Like he's
really,
canonically been a player in the comic books. I think he even he might actually hook up with Kara at one point in the DCU at some point because he does so in the comics.
I feel like they in the new adventures of Superman, they did that. Or my adventures with Superman, the little cartoon or whatever. I
Yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah.
they did that with them. We're having Kara uh, get into a kind of a relationship ish with Jimmy Olsen in that one. But that's news to me. I never knew that. I always thought he was just kind of like this, like I don't know, just the running around, happiness, happy go lucky kind of dude.
Yeah, I thought he was a sidekick character. I remember my first showcase of him was the Superman animated TV show. He's kind of a nerd. And they
Mhm.
apparently, I guess over time, they were just like, "Nah, that little boy full of riz. Little boy full of riz, 100%."
And I can't even be mad at it too because it's just like the fact of I love too is all these different facets that it took to bring Luthor down.
Oh
it's
yeah.
so much more than just like punching and that's it. Which that's something that Man of Steel kind of does a lot.
Yes.
Is like you mentioned, they focus on the super aspect, but this one it's so much more of like even if Superman wanted to, he knows he can't just go whip up on Lex Luthor. I had someone ask me like, "Well, we should just go take out Lex Luthor," and I was like, "But if you do that, that literally proves Lex Luthor's point,
Yeah.
and it proves what
100%.
everybody else thought about you too."
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, Luthor, this is by far my favorite Luthor I've ever seen.
Oh my God, yeah. I like I said, you came in the stream a little while ago. I'll do like a quick synopsis of what I said. I am sick and tired of morally gray villains. I think that they work. I think that they're fine, but like it feels like the biggest thing to fall back on in every piece of media lately. I am so happy to see just a horrible person as a villain. I am so happy to finally hate again.
Oh, and that's it's so true. And like the fact of Luthor, they grasp the whole concept of him just from early on when he's basically playing chess with Superman using Ultraman.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome. Like just saying what moves work. And I'm like, that is a level of obsession that I don't think I've ever seen since like the Clancy Brown version of like Luthor becoming president just to piss him off. Like
how familiar are you with fighting game terminology? Because there's a thing that I was told that I was like, I picked up on in the movie and I was hoping it was on purpose.
Not super much, but I mean he got some serious frame data.
That's okay. So when you look on your keyboard, right? Like the numpad with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So how fighting games will do their thing is they'll be like, if you'll do like a Hadoken, it'll be 2, 3, 6 the move, or 2, 3, 6 A, right? Because that represents the motion input.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So in my mind, someone was like, it is so funny because there's this weird thing where it's like he was reading freaking Superman's controller inputs and was inputting like 1A, 236H, 236H, blah 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 blah, and then Crypto disconnects the controller, and that's how Superman beats his ass. And I was like, oh, it's so good, dude.
Well, and I love that too because like the fact of not just from a narrative sense, right? But I just thought it was just cool. We've never really seen Superman not only lose a fight, but like in that way, but just to show the level of like I said, the level of obsession this man has gone through. That it's affected him. Like this dude literally just showed up and Lex Luthor was like, yeah, we can't have that.
Yeah.
And I loved between that and his the fact of when they're like, oh my god, the world's gonna be destroyed. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then shit, just fucking whole office just starts flying.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, well, fuck it, I guess.
He would rather snap the whole of human existence out of everything if it means that he's right. The generational hater, it is impossible not to love a villain like that. It is impossible. I love that guy. He's an amazing. I love him because I hate him. That is one of the major things I miss about villains nowadays. I miss villains that you can just turn around and be like, God, that motherfucker sucks and he's so good at it. Oh, fuck.
Well, they gave him the villain monologue too.
Like, oh yeah.
Like giving him the villain monologue of just being like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of envy, and I'm kind of envious of you, and you're just a threat to fuck you, fuck everything.
But like on some level, weirdly enough, I wouldn't, and this is where like I wouldn't say relatable in the sense because I'm not a sociopath, but like you can hear it's like, no, I'm a human being. You're just some fucking alien monster that gets your powers from your birth. I earned my right to, like, you could feel where he's coming from, where he's like referencing all these old philosophers and scientists. And he's like, I am above them. I've done what I can. I am the actual evolution of humanity, whereas you are simply like a fake, a phony. Right. And on some level you go, I don't know, he kind of spitting a little bit just with that one. And then Superman turns around and goes like, no, fuck you. You don't understand it. You don't understand humanity. You don't really get it. You don't have to evolve over anything. You are the best you can be right now, every day, every time you try.
And I will say too, that's the fact is when he brings in saying like I get scared, I am just like everybody else, and Luthor starts to fucking cry at that point because he's like, oh fuck, I lost. Like it's
Yeah.
just like he's like, I didn't even beat him on a human level. Like
No, he outhumaned you. And the part that people brought up, someone brought this up in a comment section that I was like, I thought about it and I didn't really put two and two together. The moment you see Superman cry, it's the loss of life. When the gentleman who fed him and helped him up, I forget his name, even during, he's telling Superman, he's like, I don't have a family, don't worry about me. He's trying, and which is a lie. You find out at the end of it, it was a lie in the newspaper. It's like remembered by his family. It's like even then he was trying to give Superman strength to go on, and he died for it. And Superman was like, he was torn. He was torn to bits because it was like, this was so unnecessary, needless violence, needless loss of life. And the worst part is I could have prevented it. It wasn't his fault. But like in his mind, he has this ownership over loss of life, or like anytime any kind of loss of life, no matter what happens, which goes back to the monster. He gets pissed. He's like, no, I could have solved this another way. This could have been solved another way. God damn it. And in comparison to Lex Luthor, who was just crying at the end because he lost his empire, and you see it's like he had to be the inhumanity Lex Luthor fought against Superman's humanity is incredible, and I love it.
And that also, seeing him also the way he inspired even Metamorpho.
Yeah.
Like I love that when, like, I don't love it, but like when after he kills, is it Malik? Is that his name?
I believe it's his name.
Okay.
I believe
After he kills him, and even Metamorpho is shocked. Like, just to see what the level of this will go to.
Yeah.
That Metamorpho literally creates the power of like of a sun right then. Also, that being said, the two back and forth next to them in the fucking cell blocks were hilarious.
Yeah. Yo, dude, stop. Don't do that. What are you doing, bro?
I'm the one who said it first. Like, but it also goes to show what deprivation will actually make you do. But yeah, just the fact of, he puts that blast out, Superman punching the glass or whatever, and just in not even a second before the dude across from him could even think, Superman was already there.
Yep.
And this is why I got so irked with a lot of the in my opinion, a lot of the bullshit controversy that came around with this movie. Because there really shouldn't be. I'm like, if you've watched the animated series, if you've watched Justice League, the TV shows, I see a lot of that in this.
Yeah.
And what it really bothered me the most was the fact of how people were completely misrepresenting him. Like when your first criticism of this man is calling him weak, which, to be fair, I don't fucking know how he's weak. Like, this man super breathed out of a black hole.
I know why they call him weak now, because I finally watched Man of Steel. They call him weak because he didn't cause literal apocalyptic levels of damage. That's it. That's fucking it. Because Man of Steel, the aftermath of the General Zod battle and just the General Zod thing happening. Here's the problem with the way that they present the Snyderverse, right? The whole intention behind it, and the idea of like, God, Clark Kent or Jonathan Kent just being like, no, don't save me from the tornado, son. You have to keep your powers at bay, even though you could technically literally save me and then no one would see it and it would be fine. But I have to die on this principle because the world's not ready yet. And I'm like, what? Okay, at what point would the world be ready for that? Are you saying that literally just had to wait until an apocalyptic level event like what Zod introduced was when, where's the disconnect here? Like, why did Jonathan Kent need to die only for Superman to turn around and be like, I trusted my father because he said it wasn't the time to be able to just be me. And it's just so strange. And it's like, of course, Superman is causing apocalyptic levels of damage. This is a world that doesn't have metahumans. It doesn't have monsters yet. This is its first integration of like, oh shit, we're not alone. So it doesn't give Superman the time that he needs to train his powers from the Smallville origins up until where he becomes Superman. He just kind of gets thrown into the suit, told by Jor-El, like in the film, like, yes, oh, that too, which was like a weird choice. Like, why did they give Jor-El an AI ghost? Like they literally fed he's there to just dump exposition on everything. That movie's just got so many fucking weird decisions. But it's like, oh, okay, so he didn't damn near destroy the entirety of the planet in Superman 2025, so he's weak.
Right.
Dog.
And,
like what?
you know, and I there's one of the things that got me about the weakness, the like, oh, he's weak too, is not even, it's all from the physicality. So something I was gonna mention. Oh, also too, when he talks about saving Jonathan Kent, and then later on in Justice League, we see him literally reacting to the Flash being able to run. Like, I was like, you're telling me that he's able to react to that point where if he really wanted to, he could have ran that fast, grabbed him, and brought him back without him even realizing any of it. Like, it would have been nothing wrong. So that scene just doesn't hit the way I think people think it should have. And even now, 10 plus years later, it still doesn't hit the way that it should have. You know, I think with this Superman, calling him weak because he's got his ass kicked, which is if I remember, this is the first time he's fought someone like this on his level. For one, which is very strange. This person also, we tell, is being controlled by Luthor, who knows every one of his moves before he basically makes it, which is another thing too. And you know, I loved the fact of how the sun worked, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if you remember, like when he's like healing, it's like his bones are being just repositioned into place and everything. Like, and we're seeing that, he can get his ass kicked, but that means he's not invincible, and that's great. Like, I don't know if y'all are just used to invincible Superman, but I think you kind of forget that he can get hurt by people similarly to him.
They're not used to Superman holding back, and that's what he was doing. He only started doing lethal force against Ultraman by the end, when, you know, Crypto basically cut off all the connections to Lex Luthor's control, and when he realized that, like, I can't let this fucking guy go on, like, this is not, like, I need to get rid of him, you know what I mean? But like, even during the proton stream slipping around, and he's got the baby in his hands, and he's trying desperately to save, the entire time you see him, you see him holding the baby up above the head, and he's getting his ass beat, and you're like, why can't he do anything? It's like, because he's not focusing on the enemies. At any time, he could get rid of the baby and fucking kill these guys. But that's not Superman. Superman is like, no, baby first. I promise this man I'm gonna save his child, and that's why he's getting his ass beat. And it shows his humanity even more so, because he's holding back against these people. Even the engineer who just tried to kill him he's telling her, you don't have to do this. We can do this another way. Like, he's holding back the entire time, which is why I think in the next movie, why I'm kind of excited, but also I think it's going to still be as hopeful, but it's going to, the ante has to be upped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luthor's going to have to come back with something even worse, and it's going to have to force Superman to make a decision. And that's going to be the darker aspect that I think is introduced. That's going to be well earned, as opposed to Man of Steel, where it's just like immediately like, oh, there's all this damage going on, and fuck it, you know, whatever. It's just because it's collateral damage. There's going to be a decision that Superman has to make. Lex Luthor's going to hit him with the Green Goblin, save your girlfriend or save these children, and see what happens. He's going to hit him with that.
I can see that. I can also see, like, in this future version, him really coming, and I still believe it, because I'm not a fan of Batman v Superman, but I think Superman coming into contact with someone like Bruce would be very interesting, because watching these two dynamic, their dynamic is awesome. There's a reason why these guys are polar opposites, but at the same time, they're also close friends. And I think the second one would be a really good time to try to introduce that. because we already got the Justice Gang. That's fine. I want even Bruce to say that the Justice Gang sounds stupid. you know. But I think that if you're gonna bring in the Justice or no Justice, bring in Batman, which I think they will, or at least some nod to him, some nod to his existence, which is more than enough for me. I feel like it's you're right. It's going to up the ante. I think we're going to get a character. It would have to be someone similar to someone like maybe McMetallo. Could be possibly. I don't know. Like my brain's like churning at like 5,000 miles an hour.
Oh, you're good, man. I was just going to bring up a comment because Wolf of Red Roses was one of my viewers came in. He's like, going back to the animated series and how often Superman would get destroyed in a fight to make sure the people and environment around him wouldn't be hurt. Like, yeah, that's the whole point. He's trying to limit collateral damage because he knows at any point he could turn around and just turn this place into a fucking smoking like crater. And he acknowledges that.
There was a comic clip I saw where it was on TikTok where Superman was talking to this woman who said just she's like, if I jump, do not stop me. Make a promise that if you don't stop me. And he's like, I won't. Whatever your decision is, I will let you do it. If it means that you jump, then I will not stop you. And so that they turn the lights on all the spotlights and stuff, and he lasers the spotlight, turns it off, just for her to sleep for a second. She says she's tired, and he just lets her sleep, and he stays there the entire time. It gets all the way till dark. Like it's and probably in the afternoon until dark, he just floats there, does not move. And I love that with this version of Superman. That's what I get from it. And even though he has his own stuff to deal with, I actually think that I think that Ultraman is actually going to come back as a Bizarro.
I've heard about that. Somewhere the Bizarro stuff is really funny. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very interesting that black hole led to a different universe or something. Especially if you're gonna go balls out in comics, just go balls out. Like
yeah. And they've completely showed us that. I mean, they introduced Pocket Dimensions Frame 1. Like, of course, they're gonna go all out with this one.
And actually, bringing it back to Ultraman too. As much as I know Nico mentioned in there, like he has X-ray vision to see Ultraman's face. He never used X-ray vision, I don't believe, at all during the movie. And so even if he could, I don't see him using it. Like there was no purpose for him to use it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go with the assumption that Lex Luthor, knowing what he knows, created the Hammer Barovia to be like it's impenetrable against Superman X-ray. That's my personal headcanon, because on some level, even Superman was like the accent was fake. Like he kind of remarks about that when he's Clark Kent in the Daily Planet. He goes, "Oh, I asked him. He thinks that the accent is fake. He's not even sure he's with Barovia." And that's like a throwaway line, but like it shows that no, he knows something is up. He's known something has been up the entire time,
right?
And that's what I love is that like there's a lot of these like throwaway moments. You like kind of if you're not really paying attention, you can just be like, whatever, okay. But like if you pay attention and you're like, oh, so he's on it. He's on it. He knows what's happening. He's just trying to like find a way to put the puzzle pieces together at the end of the day. And I love that. I love that about this Superman. It's so good.
That investigative journalist side of it.
Yeah.
And one thing too, when I look at Ultraman, I feel like, and this could be me personally, I feel like Ultraman represents the Superman that I'm just gonna start calling it NPC Superman. But like the Ultraman represents what I think a lot of, especially some of those fans, really just want Superman to be. Very just quiet, doesn't say anything, just punches and just keeps on moving.
Yep.
And I loved the addition of Ultraman. Also, not only obviously from a narrative perspective of seeing how far he's willing to do, that he created this off of just a strand of his hair. Like, but also it just represents like that Ultraman, no mind of his own, just goes and crushes stuff. That is what a lot of people, especially I guess I'll just get it started with it, the ones who keep calling this show fucking woke, wanted a Superman just to be. A run around, does the punch stuff, and then just keeps on moving.
Yep.
power fantasy Superman.
I was gonna say exactly that. I think really what it comes down to is that the Man of Steel, there's a moment that happens that I think any red-blooded male has in their heart at one point, where they're like, you walk up and that guy is like, oh yeah, sorry, ma'am, is this man bothering you? That he has that moment in the fucking bar where he comes up and is like, oh, I'm just gonna spill beer all over him, and then he doesn't do anything. He walks out and he turns this man's truck into whatever awful contraption. He throws like so many telephone poles through it, and everyone's like, yeah, we got him. And it's like, that's what they want. They want revenge. They want just desserts. And it made sense at the time, but those people also unfortunately have never grown up and have never like they are constantly, and I hate to say this, they are blaming the world for the problems that are happening to them at every single time, as opposed to trying to look inwardly and be better. So they like the feeling of Man of Steel just, forcing his way into the conversation, being like, no, I'm super powerful. No one can stop me. You're just going to have to deal with it. Whereas like this one, it's not about using his power to stop people. It's using his power to help people. You won't stop me, but you're not going to stop me from preventing loss of life. Not like, I'm just going to do what I want and say what I want to say because I am who I am. And like that's the power fantasy for them, is they want to be the Superman who's just capable of being who they're going to be and saying what they're going to say, and no one's going to be able to bat an eye. Whereas this power fantasy, this kind of thing, is being like utilizing the power of kindness to genuinely make a change in the world when you know you can, when you know it is that simple, and not and just being like not faltering in the face of death or fear or anything like that, and just taking that shit and being like, no, we will not go quietly in the night. That's why I fucking love 2025, and why I think now more than ever that message is resonating with so many more people, with a world that is being just like torn to fucking shreds in real life. Like, we are in a really unprecedented time. Like, not to go there, but like, I'm sure you felt it. I'm sure people watching this are feeling it. It sucks. Shit sucks right now. And something like Superman kind of reinvigorates that hope of like, no, humanity has and always will prevail every single time. The indomitable human spirit is what is important about Superman, not his superpowers.
No, and I agree with you. And I think also too, mentioning it, that's why I like seeing things. We're seeing so much attack on the just being a kind person.
Yeah.
We're seeing an attack on people who just care. Superman just cares. He doesn't need a reason to care. He just is like, damn, these people need help. I'm just going to do that. And that's why you see a lot of media that don't like this movie are coming after the fact of, well, he's weak. He's a weak character. He is, he constantly gets his ass whooped. They're using very superficial things to try to determine, why this Superman is terrible, right?
Right.
Yes, could he? We all like it, and it comes down to the fact of people don't know. This is kind of scary when you think about it. People do not know what genuine kindness looks like. They're
breeding out empathy. 100%. Like you could there's an argument to be made, not to get like I because it's your stream. Just to let you know, you were on my stream. You know how I completely don't give a shit about, like, I will talk about whatever politics.
Oh, go off. Like, I'm not mad at it at all, because I know this was going to be a subject that came up in it.
Sure. Capitalism, 100%. The intention of it right now, especially at the point where we're at, is the intention is to breed out empathy and to replace it with apathy. And you see that wholly across the board with just the way that we've approached media, the way we approach conversations, the way we approach confirmation bias, and the way we approach even objective perceptions of reality. And the intention essentially is to remove the sense of self, and instead provide this pervasive feeling of need for survival as opposed to need to live. So you've got a lot of people who are constantly working 9 to 5s, who are having to pay money out of their pocket every single day just to survive, just to make it through the end of the day. And hope and love and kindness is being seen as weakness. And there's a word specifically that I fucking want to ram down people's throats every single time that they use it: cringe. The idea of just being yourself 100% true to who you are is cringe, and they don't want you to do that. They want you to fall in line. They want you to work like a little worker bee. They want you to be part of the hive. They want you to go ahead and be scared. They want you to feel powerless. They want you to feel hopeless, and they are doing everything in their power to beat the humanity out of you. So a movie like this is incredibly important because it comes from an artist who, yes, it's being backed by corporate interest on some level, but you have to acknowledge that at the end of the day, they let him say loudly and proudly, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will be who we are. And we will stand for justice, kindness, and the right to love and embrace humanity. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do to stop us." And that is a message that right now is so much more important and needs to be spread across political spectrums, across religious ideologies, across sexualities. It needs to be said, it is not you versus me, motherfucker. It is us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why this movie is fucking so goddamn impactful for me personally.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, and that's why I mentioned before when they put the stance on, they clearly the war between them was a stance between Gaza versus Israel, right?
Yes,
Gaza and Israel. They knew what they were about. James Gunn was very much aware of what stance he was taking and was unapologetic with it. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I very much appreciate. I very much appreciate someone who is willing to say, "Hey, this is my stance on it. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm not going to debate you on what the stance is." And with Superman being a character that is so genuinely wants to help people and genuinely care, there are people out there who have never seen this kind of kindness before that will reach out no matter what. That he wants it. And this is why I encourage everybody to, like, Superman is the resurgence that was something that was needed. It wasn't just something to me that was just in because of his power. It was always what he represented. He is to me the beacon of what hope is.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that we got a Superman that represented that. Now, of course, there's going to be people who are going to be going against it. I work at a caregiving facility, right? And I was passing by one of them, and they were one of the residents. And residents, we have a lot of times they're watching just some sort of news outlet, right?
Right.
And so they're watching Fox News segment. And one of the dudes who was talking about it was saying that it was, it was woke or whatever, and then even made a running, I don't know if it was running joke or what, but I don't think it was, saying that they had even had MS-13 on his cape. Oh my God. And it was just one of those where the lady was like, "Can you believe that?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, because Superman would not fall for that. And Superman would not do that. I mean, we saw with Dean Cain, who played Superman back in the late 80s, early 90s, literally came out and was like, "Oh, well, Superman stands for truth, justice, and the American way." Well, if you knew anything, I think it was, I believe, if I remember, I researched it a little bit. I believe it was 2011. It's when they dropped it. Do you know how many times that Superman has actually said no against the government or the American way? You know who else has done that shit? Captain America.
I was gonna say Captain America is the most American motherfucker because he looks the government in the eyes and goes, "No, idiot, that's dumb and bad."
I was like, did you guys miss the whole concept of Captain America, the Winter Soldier? And that's the thing to me is between Superman saying no, fuck it, I'll dip. I don't care. You know what I mean? If it means that I can't help people, if I can't help people and I have to do it by your ways of doing things, then I'm not going to do it. This is why I'm never on board with the fact of Superman helping with the government. I never like that kind of plot line that Superman helps with the government. I also am not a big, this is going to sound really mean, but I hate the whole evil Superman trope, especially Injustice. I love the Injustice games. They're fun, but the story of just an evil Superman, I don't care because he's just not, which is why the Winter Soldier is so great. Oh, absolutely. Captain America, we've seen it. Superman, both of them. Like they're two types of characters that they don't technically stand for the American, or I should say, like let me rephrase it. They actually do stand for the American way, but the American way isn't the more like a submission kind of way, you
Right.
know. And I love that. I respect that. I respect that people that we've made, in a way, progress. To be honest, into just thinking that what the American way is versus a better tomorrow. That is what Superman stands for: truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
I tell
Uh,
Mike people I stream this all the time, and I'm gonna tell all of your lovely watchers here as well. Don't let the bastards grind you down. They will do everything in their power to try to make you seem like we're not making progress. They will do everything in their power to make it seem like they are the majority voice. They're not. They're not. We see that in the No Kings rallies. We see that everywhere, every single day. I drove by one just recently. And I live in Palm Bay, Florida, and that's like as right wing red as you possibly can get. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And I walked out and I drove to go pick my little brother up the other day from work, and there it is just people out there fighting for the rights and fighting against secret police and Gestapo that are now running around doing the things they're doing. The voice, we are louder, we're here, and the idea that they are doing everything in their power to be like the fucking Nerdrotics and all these other piece of shit podcast individuals coming out, and you see how they're all having to team up with each other, right? You see how there's more and more and more of these idiots on the same podcast. It's like filling up to 10, 16 of these idiots. You know why? Because we're outnumbering them, and they know it, and they feel the fucking burn.
Well,
That's why they're turning around and doing these fucking things.
and something that you mentioned on that too, which I do very much agree with, is the fact of when you have people like Nerdrotic and a lot I would say that my biggest thing is don't let these people try to tell you that they are doing this because they have some noble intent. One of the biggest things that I've seen so far over the last 10 years, I would say 10 plus years, is fans, right? The term fan, what makes a fan. I was just having a conversation with another person last night or 2 nights ago about comic accuracy, right? As long as the comic is, or the movie is accurate to what the comics are. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, it's more about the feel than anything else.
Right.
The feel of Superman is more important than if his suit's okay. I don't care. Sure, everything's gonna be somewhat comic accurate because they have a baseline to go off of. That just makes sense. But like, to me, I was always, but I think he was coming from a genuine place, but it was just like very misguided. But I was just like, in my mind, when I listened to that, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, this comes off as kind of toxic-ish. Like the movie aren't good unless they come off as toxic, unless they're a specific way that I want it.
Right.
And we saw this in Star Wars, we see this in video games, we see this in anime, we see this all over those spectrums of fans who just do not. They don't want. They rather bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch, because they think what they're doing is like giving genuine critique, and they're not. It's a lot of times it's just kind of ranting, it's raving, like you said, with Nerdrotic and shit. It's just pure racism.
Yeah, stop calling. I think I saw a comment section. I was like, stop calling it a grift. Call it what it is. Call it racism. And I think
that was
calling
me.
it racism.
Yeah,
that was you.
I don't call it. I don't call it woke. I don't call it. You just. I'm trying to prove to my. No, it's just racism. Like it's in the thing is that the term, especially terms like woke, is used to disguise racism.
Yep.
It's trying to disguise any kind of racism, bigotry, sexism, bigotry, whatever it is. And so when you just call it what it is, you just say, like, oh well, it's kind of what. No, you saying that is just racist because you like prove to me where this actually defines it as what you would call woke, which I'm a big believer in. Before I think I mentioned this in your comments about if you do not know what the term woke means, I will not even. I won't entertain your conversation.
Right.
Because if you're using a bastardized version of a term that has nothing to do with it, and I'm not. We ain't playing that game today. Okay, like I'm 33 years old. I don't got time to go play semantics with your bitch ass. Like,
100%.
And so, what I'm excited for, and this is obviously not just me. This is in later generations of people, right? And look, when I see kids who are running and being like, "Oh my god, this is awesome," right? And I'm excited for them. I'm excited that they get to see this Superman and watching him be just a genuinely good person.
Yep.
Because that is the hope that I need. That was the hope that I had when I watched Batman sit down with Ace in Justice League Unlimited till that little girl's death.
Great
Like
scene. Great
that
scene.
was that scene makes me cry still,
Yeah, dude.
because it's so fucking powerful. You know, one of my favorite scenes, and it's not even like a full scene in it, but it's in one of the episodes of Justice League, is when Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are all talking about going out and eating. Like, just going out to go eat somewhere, because like we never get a chance to do it. Of course, it gets interrupted because shit happens. But
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like that kind of stuff. I love it. I love seeing that little bit in there. That's why I loved characters like Crypto so much. A lot of people were like, "Well, Crypto is kind of dumb because he's just he's always unruly." Yes, we got one, because obviously you see the reason why he's unruly.
Yeah, you find out the reason, which is so good.
But also too, searches for adoptions have gone up. Now, it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they're gonna stay. They're gonna stay that way. Of course not. And it doesn't mean that everybody's like really excited for it. But the fact that searches for adoptions have gone up is still a positive.
Yeah.
You know. And also, like you mentioned, I think you mentioned before too, the addition of just saying what a punk rock
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is enough. That's enough to. That was one of my favorites, was when actually family, the whole family thing was amazing to me. Like Ma and Pa these are some of my personal favorite versions of Ma and Pa.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Oh
100%.
my god. I was like, when they showed and the way that they were talking and everything, and I was like, damn. Like, these are the type that just love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
they felt like family. They felt like, and uh being able to be vulnerable and be open. I wish this was more, because we don't see that. We see this a lot when it comes to, especially when it comes to men and boys, this whole rejection of trying to feel open and open up. And Superman does that. Paul, we see that because he does it, because Paul does that.
Yeah. Two grown men sitting there deep, like in love with each other. They love each other so much. And they're crying. And you got Ma Ken, who comes out and gives a little poke in the ribs, like, "Hey, you mushies there." And it's all love. It's all just radiating love through every fucking pore. And you can see, and that's why the ending where he's like, oh, it soothes him when he sees the thing from his parents. Which I will say, as a small aside, I don't think Kal-El's parents are evil. I think that they are misguided. I think that it's very easy to be like, oh, they made Superman's parents evil. No, if you listen to the conversation, they said they are a weak and just misguided species, which humans are. And you, as with your powers, will be able to lead them to greater heights. And when you rule over them, that'll be easy. And they themselves, like the way they present these Kryptons, is that it's just more like, okay, so they're just misguided aliens who think they know better, right? I don't think they're evil. I don't think that I think that for me, the intention wasn't that they're evil. They just didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So it hits a lot harder for me when he turns around and he changes that thing from watching his parents tell him to be a beacon of hope to just the memories he has with the Kents, that showed him what humanity is and what is worth fighting for. And these are the memories that he needs to keep pushing on to generation after generation after generation.
And those are his parents. Yes. I mean, obviously we know the whole Krypton story. He has his biological parents, and coming from a person who is adopted, like Ma and Pa, those are his parents. Like,
Right.
no doubt in their minds. As soon as he, he's in a bad spot, it was like, I gotta go see my parents. Like, that's it. And I loved it. Like, I love the fact that they kept his room pretty much the same. I'm not gonna lie, I will say, is it David? I forgot his last name. The actor.
Corn
Sweat.
Yeah, hold
Okay,
on.
I know it's
Let me David Superman actor. It's a strange. Yeah, Corn Sweat. I guess that's how you say it.
Okay, yeah. He's not a small guy. So when he's sitting on that bed, I was like, damn. He's
little feetsies over the top. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I love that about Ma and Pa. Like, I love that, just their interaction, and just this amount of, and this is also good on the side of the actors too, of just feeling so genuine. Like you felt like I don't know, maybe you might be different because you live in Florida, but I live up in Wisconsin, right? So like
Mhm.
that feeling of how they just resonated is something that I grew up in a small town up here, so that's how it felt the same. Uh and I enjoyed that aspect of it. Like
Oh
it
no,
felt
we got some good old fashioned hillbillies down here. We got some good people down here.
I actually
Don't
don't
you
know a whole
worry.
lot about it because like I feel like whenever I hear it's usually a hurricane or the Gators suck, but like the Florida Gators
Listen,
suck. That's what I think.
listen. Florida man is real, and he is coming to your house. That is 100% a real thing. But like I will say, as someone who's been here for long enough, there is more love out here than there is hate. There is. It's just that a lot of it is misguided. And I'm Cuban. I'm soy cubano.
Okay.
And I'll be honest. I think it's our people that are mostly full of more hate than anything. I've met way more accepting white hillbilly people that are just so goddamn cool. And the rural countryside folk, the people of the earth,
Mhm.
they are here. They exist. I 100%. I love that. And that's why I love. If we're talking about like at least there's really two sides of American history for me, and that's um, you know, good country loving rural white folk and black people. Like honestly, the 50 like American history is 50-50%. Black people help build this country up, and the rural white people they basically turn around and they're tending to the fields now. We're doing everything we can to just make this
And
fucking American
yeah,
dream a reality.
and I think that's one of the things too is I will say because it is definitely I know myself I notice I've been dipping a lot more into a lot of more hatred and it's something that I'm working through
Right.
because of the fact that a lot of stuff that through I like growing up the version of history that I got is obviously a very whitewashed version of history. I got that
Mhm.
especially living in a rural area. So when I moved from a very conservative place towards Milwaukee, which was definitely more liberal, especially for the people that I had around, and there was more black people and stuff. So I got the history. I started, I did a lot more research. I started learning a lot more. I wanted to experience it instead of just pushing it off because I spent a lot of my time pushing it off.
Right.
And so I noticed that I was getting angry over the fact of like, the people being like, how can you not see this? Why are you like ignoring it? And I'm like, it's because they don't know. They don't reach out any farther than their inner circle, you know.
Right.
And with myself, it was like as much as I can get angry and I can get real mad at over like the things that they're doing over in Washington, the things that they're doing over wherever. But then at the same time, I also have um, a dude who's a woman that I work with over in at my retirement home, and she's just living. You know what I mean? Like at the
Mhm.
same time, you meet some of the most beautiful people, and one thing I love is overall on a positive level. There's a lot more positivity that comes through the world and even just in America when I traveled for like a 3 week period. I will never do that fucking shit again. I went through like 5-6 different states. It was fucking terrible. Um, but I met some most amazing people. I was homeless for a little while,
Oh
and
wow.
my car died because I forgot to turn it off when I was asleep. I fell asleep, and another dude who's also homeless. So immediately started got my car, opened it up. We got it jumped in and everything. It didn't take much, but when they were also at that point, they're like, all we have is each other,
Mhm.
you know,
Yep.
and I love that. And that's why, obviously don't love the situation, but like, but like, I love the fact of those are the people that you just come across on a regular basis, majority of them. And I have to like, sometimes I have to like even tell myself that because it is so easy to delve into hate and into anger, you
It
know?
is. It is. And I think a lot of it just comes down to a couple of key factors, and that's the grift, unfortunately, for what it is, it's very strong. The grift is
Mhm.
very strong, and it supplies a lot of these people who partake in it a livelihood and income. Um, weirdly enough, I was watching I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, but it's got the dude Harry Potter, like the actor from Harry Potter,
Daniel Radcliffe.
and he's huh?
It's fucking.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. That's Gwen. You give Gwen is she's with me. Just let them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're right. They're right, but like,
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I love it. Oh man. Oh, okay.
um,
That's great.
what was I gonna say? God, I completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I guess I'll come back to that. What it comes down to, I think, from one of my personal experiences with something like that is, I got one side of the family that does support the Orange Man, and they voted for him, and I obviously took exception to that. But this is someone who, like, I mean, in my 34 years of life, I mean, this is someone I've grown up with. This is my sibling, right? And I turned to them and I was having a conversation with them because I'm going through my own kind of mental illness woes and things of that nature, and they're trying to help me out as well. And I told them, I was like, if I'm being so real with you right now, your support of that person in the face of what's happening, like, is insane to me, and I hate that, and I want so desperately to like let you know that like my love for you is constantly battling with my hate for that action you took. You know what I mean? And I had to contend with that myself on a daily basis until they came up to me and they were like, "It's what you said to me. It's not you versus me. It's us versus them." And I think that's what it does. I think that's what we need to. That's what we need to kind of reorient the conversation into. I don't think you should reach across the row and like, we already talked about it before on the last stream. And you were talking about that gentleman. I've got the name. I've got to look up the gentleman who would go to
Daryl Davis.
Yeah, who would go to Nazis and be like, try to, save them, bring them across the pond, essentially. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you do unfortunately get more bees with honey. You do. That's just the way it goes. And if you don't approach people, even those who are incredibly ignorant, with the idea of like, oh, I'm better than you. And you know what? I'm sorry to say it. If you're on the side of wanting to be bettering humanity, you are a better person. I'm sorry, but don't do that to people. Don't put people in that spot, because it already puts them on the defensive, because they might be good people. They might be full of love and care and all these things, but just like you are beaten down by the shit that life has. Now everyone's journey is a lot more different. I'm not going to sit there and tell particular people, like, I'm not going to sit there and tell people from the LGBT or black people in general, like they aren't suffering more, like they haven't suffered more than like maybe I have, or maybe a white person has, right? That's clearly not the case. There's been a disproportionate amount of suffering in our country specifically, and in the world specifically, across generations, and for all sorts of ridiculous fucking reasons. But if you sit there and instead of reorient the conversation to be more of one including people and realizing it's like, I don't want to demonize you. Here's what's going on. Can you at least see me halfway? And more often than not, when the cameras are off, when you're not on your little black box commenting with 150 character limits, the people's humanity will show up. And it has been showing up. And you can see it across the board, and it's good. It's a good feeling. And on some level, I hate to say it, man, maybe if I ever met the nerd-erotic guys in real life, I'd like to try to have a conversation with them and be like, what's the real happening, man? Why do you feel this way for real? Let's be honest. Turn the fucking cameras off. Get off the microphone. Let's talk. What the fuck is your problem? And then I bet you 10 to 1, they will come and they will be like, all right, let's discuss. But because it's all a fucking game to people, it's all a part of the fucking the little show. Everyone's got to make their own little show, and we're all trying to make money off of this fucking little thing we're doing here. That's what also like is making the conversation. It's poisoning it. It's poisoning it, and that's what turns into the grift. So if you remove those elements, the unfortunate thing is like you can't like. I love Dean Walters or whatever that kid that's like the Dean debate Withers, bro. Yeah. Dean Withers. I love what he thinks he's trying to do, but dog, just calling up people to try to make them look stupid the entire time, you're doing it for the bag. You're not doing it for the movement. I'm sorry.
And that's where like with I've been watching The Line, right? It's called The Line on YouTube. And they bring people from all over. It's like 5 or 6 different people. and they do call-in shows. They they talk. They might have one. Let's say there's one with these two women about purity culture, right? Like we're going to talk about, discuss about purity culture, and then eventually they have people call in, and people call in and try to try to either try to defend it or whatever if they want to know more. They do have sections, I believe, for know if they want to just they're more curious about something like that. When it comes to like people who are like it comes to people who are trans, they do have people who they have two people who are both trans, and typically they are the ones who end up doing those specific lives.
Yeah.
A lot of them are also ex religious or they were ex Christians. So they might have quite a few of them usually about it in that way.
Yeah.
Like why do you believe what you do? Or they have a caller come in, and the caller, I think, has to come in and then actually say like, hey, I have a new reason for why evolution doesn't work. Okay, well, let's discuss it and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I watch them a fair bit, and I enjoy the conversations for the most part. Of course, there's gonna be people that eventually kind of crash out, and you're just like, oh, okay, damn. I'll be honest; those are probably the more entertaining ones. But
A good
there's
crash
also
out is fun. We're human, okay? Sometimes the Russian car crash video kind of hits. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, exactly. There comes to a point where like you're sitting there, you're like typing away, and all of a sudden you're just like,
Fuck is
what
this man on
the
about?
fuck you just say? Like
The audacity of this caucasity is insane.
yeah, exactly. And that's what got me with the whole MS-13 that Fox News mentioned. Like, oh yeah, that's why he said MS-13 on there, and I was like, fuck, like okay. But one thing else I wanted to bring up too is not just with the Man of Steel. We kind of talked about Man of Steel. We talked about Snyderverse. It's or Superman, but it's also the rise of how people just tend to really all of a sudden love the fact of now Man of Steel is great. Superman came out, now Man of Steel is all of a sudden perfect. Like it's also just this amazing show. I never really, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, like, let's
it's
talk through this.
not. It's
Yeah,
not
like,
perfect, but now that I've finally watched it, granted, I did skip past a little bit of the ending because I started it up at like 11 my time, and I was like, oh shit, it was like 1:50 when the movie was about to end,
oof.
and I didn't want to be late. But I did. I watched it, and it is not the dumpster fire that I initially was told, but it is got its issues, and it is definitely not representative of the Superman character, and feels like it was created by individuals who were more preoccupied with trying to present a real, quote unquote, realistic interpretation of a character as opposed to what that character is, because there was this obsession because of, I mean, the Dark Knight movies made $1 billion. That's an insane amount of money for any movie to make. I think it was one of the first movie franchises to actually cross the $1 billion threshold. And you see that and you're like, okay, well, shit, like the only way that from the 2000s to the 2010s, there was this idea that anime and comic books were still kind of considerably cringe on, right? Like there's still a lot of people making fun of people who watch anime. There's still a lot of people who just weren't into that kind of thing. You had that Power of God in anime is on my side, and that was not seen as a fun thing, but more as like a get that guy away from me kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now the complete opposite is here, because people are starting to realize that embracing who you are, regardless of what you're into, as long as it doesn't fucking hurt anybody, as long as what you're into isn't hurting anyone. To be cringe is to be free. I am talking to you as someone who isn't a furry, but I am using a furry rant sona to talk to you right now from a anime that I really like. That is cringe as shit, but it's awesome.
Odd Taxi. It is such a good fucking anime.
Odd Taxi is so goddamn good.
Oh,
it's so good.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
I don't care what anybody says. That is how you pronounce his name from now on.
I put that right up there with the DMC. Strawberry Sunday.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It doesn't matter when it comes to anime. Like how they say words are it's the greatest thing in the world.
It's so good.
It cracks me up no matter what. especially JoJo's. I'm not gonna lie, JoJo's is the one that cracks me up more than anything. Like, but
I love JoJo. I like how Araki is a fucking crazy person.
that being said, man, part seven being animated, and I'm like, I'm all here for it.
Is that Steel Ball Run? I forget.
Yes, that's Steel Ball Run.
Oh my god, I can't believe they're actually doing it.
I can't believe we got here.
I can't believe we got here. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's all the way on to part 7. I'm like, damn, I'm so pumped for people to watch. Like, in my opinion, one of the best of the parts. Like, it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, like I feel like the last bits here when I want to talk about when it comes to the Snyder, and I want to say, like, I don't necessarily hate the Snyderverse. I don't really like it because I definitely believe what you mentioned. You said cringe, I say edgy. Like, there was really dark, edgy feel to everything. We were getting a lot of video games, especially that had a lot of, like, everything had like the dark in it. It had to be the dark, edgy version. Fuck, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and all of a sudden I start getting all these like darker version of cards. Okay, I got fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series had this a lot, where it was like dark crystal beast, dark elemental heroes, dark, and I'm just like, can we not? Like, but
Edge was the thing that's in. That's 100%.
Yeah, everyone loves like the edgy characters. But I feel like with the Justice League, but the Snyderverse, that was one of the things that bothered me the most, is because they couldn't tell if they wanted to be edgy or if they didn't. Superman kind of came off as this edgier version. Batman's branding people.
Branding people, he's using guns like it's like completely antithetical to the character. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the ones that I found decent in there were this Wonder Woman, which, at least the first Wonder Woman until the Act 3. Act 3 dropped the ball for me because they had a really good chance. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Wonder Woman.
I haven't actually.
Okay, I won't spoil it then. But like, there's a little bits here and there. Also, I want to say some of the references I was really excited for. Fucking Peacemaker is in this movie. And if you have not seen Peacemaker, I encourage you to watch it.
I watched episode 1 and 2. I really liked it. I am so bad when it comes to TV series, man. I really am. I had to someone got me into Sopranos a little while ago, and I had to sit there and consume that via, like, it's all my screen over here, and I'm doing something else on this screen. I think it's got to be the ADHD or something, man. I don't know what it is, but it's like hard for me to like pay attention to specifically TV series. But I really want to watch it. It was a lot of fun the first episodes I watched with my little brother.
Oh, it's good. I would recommend it. I'm also really excited for, like, a little bit here when it comes to Maxwell Lord. And the Maxwell Lord is the one who owns the Justice Gang.
Oh, okay.
That had me really interested. Because it makes me wonder where they're going to go with that. Like, there's got to be
one of the best lines of the movie, I think.
Which one's that?
Maxwell, because he was at the end when Lex Luthor was like, whether you're liberal or conservative, everyone can agree Lex Luthor sucks, man.
Lex Luthor took an ass whooping from Crypto, but like,
it's so good.
After a while, I started saying, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually starting to feel bad. Like, like
they had their Loki moment, their Hulk Loki moment, and that was great. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the little bit we got with Kara?
So I don't know much about her. I talked about this with my friend Selena. She's a huge comic book fan, and she was telling me it's like she was incredibly excited for this interpretation of Kara, because in some of the lore, the reason why it took Kara so long to get to Earth was because she literally kept like drunkenly driving herself into other planets and getting fucked up at these planets. And she's like, oh, they're going with I think they call it Woman of Tomorrow or something like that. There's like a specific one. And everyone watched it is like, they're really pumped. And honestly, I love that. I love the small little bit there. I think the Crypto interaction was so cute. There's just there's so I know he specifically did not make this movie to build a DCU technically, But the amount of potential alone, I think I followed this guy named Cosmonaut Marcus, and he
Oh,
had a
I know
review for it.
Cosmonaut.
Yeah, I met that guy once. It's very cool. I went to go watch because he was mutual friends with another friend of mine back in the day. We watched Uncut Gems together, and that was a
Is
fun
that
time.
movie good?
Uncut Gems is great. Uncut Gems is probably one of the best Adam Sandler like acting performances of all time.
Okay, I'll definitely have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. But like he had a review and he was talking about how it was just like, oh yeah, this is the same feeling I got when I watched the Avengers, where it's like, okay, there's a lot of potential here, and I'm like, yeah, there's a world here that's so well established that you're just like, fuck, they could go anywhere, and this would be sick, and I love that.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see where they go. Like I love the little interaction. The fact that Crypto is like straight up just pushing her into the ground and just the ground breaking behind her.
It's so good. It's so
like
good.
I was just like, yeah, I see where obedience training. like and I think that I do agree. I think there's a lot to go off of, especially with what they were working on. Obviously, they're working on a Clayface horror movie, which I'm all for.
That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, the dude is literally set up for it. Like that sounds like it'd be so like a blast.
Especially if you're gonna go for the Basil Carlo route.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's different versions of Clayface. The live, Creature Commandos will probably make a crossover with that. I think that I don't know what they're gonna do with Wonder Woman, but I've heard rumors that what like things was like they were actually gonna focus more on the Amazons themselves.
Okay.
If they do a Wonder Woman movie, or like a movie or something, sure, I'm fine with that. Personally, I'm more interested in the society of the Amazons themselves.
All right.
And maybe I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. I don't know if they'll do this or not, but a bit more focus on Wonder Woman, like not just Wonder Woman, I guess say, but like both sides. I want to see like a lot of like the Amazon culture, because one of my most interesting moments to me was in all of Wonder Woman's comic lore was I don't know if it's just a specific comic or not, but Wonder Woman finds out that there's actually a bunch of men on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all they're like underneath, and they make weapons for the Amazons. And Wonder Woman's sitting there like absolutely like flabbergasted, because she's like, what the fuck? I thought there was only women here. And he's like, no, like the men who go here come down to this area. Before they were just getting killed. But if I remember right, Hephaestus is the one who takes them, and then they help make weapons for them, and they're so defeated at this point that they can't really fight back. And I loved it because it changed the lore a little bit of it changed the lore of Themyscira, but it also changes Wonder Woman's whole opinion on shit, on her own family, And I like that. I like when I see a character get challenged in a way that like I don't know how I feel about this. I think if we get another Batman, I am excited. I really hope that this Batman just has a Batman and a Robin right away.
Yeah. I think so. I think it'd be, if not right away, I think that I am kind of sick and tired of seeing Batman be on his lonesome when like the Bat family is a huge part of it.
Yep. Maybe if anything, you could do one. I think it would be a fun one. We have Batman and Nightwing right away. And
give me Batman, Nightwing. Get that out of the way. That'd be so cool.
And then you can have one where you separate Nightwing eventually, because they do get into a falling out at one point. And that's kind of where Nightwing takes off and goes to Bloodhaven. Which obviously I'm not trying to like start universe, but that would set up the Titans possibly. And not that fucking TV show. Like I don't know anything. I've never really watched it myself, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Just looking at it, I was like, I don't really care to watch it.
I think it's just, listen, I love a good visceral edge as much as anyone else does, but yeah, like you said before, it's either 100% or like adding edge to like something that doesn't have edge before can work, but you have to do it with sincerity. There's a thing I wanted to talk about earlier where it's like something that this movie has that Man of Steel doesn't, and it's a sense of earnestness, and like basically what that word means, right, is sincere and intense conviction. And when you create something because you feel this sincere earnestness towards the source material, like Superman 2025 does, as opposed to just disrespecting it, then, or not necessarily disrespecting it, but kind of looking at it and being like, I could make that better, like Man of Steel apparently does. They were trying to present Man of Steel in like a realistic context, like this has never been done before, blah 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 blah. Superman, but what if Superman might be evil? Who knows? And it's just it's kind of not as fun as just being straight up and being like so sincere, because that sincerity pierces through media and you can feel it as a human being. You can be like, regardless whether or not this piece of media might even be good objectively, there's a passion and a love here that I see through and through, just in the making of this one particular thing, whether it be a game, a movie, a book, anything. There's a you can see and feel the passion through and through. And I think that's what I want more of. And even when it comes to edgy shit, when it comes to like the silly, the adding edge to things that don't have edge, as long as it's a respecting of the source material. Like it's actually a really cool comic line that I wanted to get into was the Ninja Turtles one, where it's all the Ninja Turtles being dead in the future.
The Last Ronin.
Yeah, the Last Ronin's sick as fuck. The Last Ronin is sick as fuck, and it's like it's built off of like cowabunga dudes, like, you know what I mean? But it's a sick concept because it still respects the original source material and holds it in high regard, you know?
No.
So you can do edgy, you can do these things, but you have to not like perform character assassination to get to that point, which is why I don't fuck with the Snyderverse interpretation of Batman or much of his interpretation of characters in general. I think the only one he kind of did okay was the Flash, and even then, I forget if the Flash was even if he did the Flash movie or not. I forget.
I don't think so. He did.
Okay, because I know that the Flash was in Justice League at the very least. That was a shit show too. Jesus, I'm just so glad to see DC get a win. I really am.
I'm gonna be honest. This is probably my biggest, like, one of my bigger hot takes is the fact that the Zack Snyder's Justice League is not much better than the theatrical. It's like a 4-hour. I'm getting basically the same fucking movie, and I've had that one sparked a few of them. Where like, well, I sparked a few people like, well, you don't understand, you know. Like, this version is so great because we got Darkseid. I'm like, what we got was a Darkseid that lost to an Ares, that lost to a Wonder Woman.
No. Dog, do you know how many people sit there and like they don't understand that their media literacy amounts to I clap when I see it? Like that's it. Like that's fucking it. Like
like a seal. Like
yeah. Like, oh, Darkseid. Oh, Darkseid. Oh.
Oh yeah, they're like, but Darkseid was so powerful because he had the mother boxes, and I'm like, he didn't do anything with them.
Oh, great! I'm so glad he had the MacGuffin. What did he do with it? Fuck all.
Yeah, well,
cool.
What are you like? I'm like, they're like, but is he stronger than Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet? And I was like, I don't think you want to get into that. It's like,
did he win? Thanos won. Thanos won at the end of his fucking film, bro.
Well, I laughed. I fucked them, and they were like, but he has the mother boxes, and I'm like, but what did the mother boxes do? Like, well, they didn't really do much of anything, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Like,
I have this box, and it can do sick shit. What does it do? The sickest shit.
I'm just like, so is it gonna do stuff? I don't know. What's in the box?
literally sitting there Seven style, like, what's in the box?
It's like, well, the box did some cool stuff. Like what? It gave this black guy powers.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's
like,
neat.
So what else did it do? It gave
anyway.
It's just, you know, and that's why I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I don't like, one, power scaling is a type of community you do not want to get involved in if you, one, don't know your shit, or two, can't deal with fucking disrespect.
or the ability to understand that maybe you don't understand something. Yeah, I was talking to there was something where I saw a really interesting. This is a completely different world. I saw a really interesting power scaling argument. And it was like certain mechs versus other mechs. And Evangelion was up there. And I was like, Evangelion is God. Don't they technically just fucking tank everybody? Like Evangelions are big enough to go up against Godzilla. Gundams are not. So like, what are you talking about?
These are the same people who are like, yeah, but Goku's the strongest fighter, and I'm like, not even the strongest fighter in his own fucking verse. Like,
here's the thing: there's a lot of shit people give Goku. I get it. He's 100% a Gary Stu through and through.
oh,
But you know what? The motherfucker works hard.
oh, you don't get that physique by sitting on your ass.
Works hard, bro.
Like, I think one of my favorite ones, whoever it was, like, I was like, yeah, Sailor Moon is fucking insane, right? Like, I was like, I think she beats Goku, and they're like, yeah, but what if you took away their powers? I'm like, then that's a grown adult beating up a 16-year-old.
Yeah, you're telling me a fucking a power lifter beating up a 16-year-old Japanese girl is like a fair fight, dog?
Right.
Like, excuse you.
It's like, what if you took all the powers away from Supergirl and had her fight Batman? I'm like, it's a grown man beating up a 16-year-old, and I'm like,
yeah, like, what is this argument? What if they don't have any powers? It's like, you're a jackass.
Like, once you have to get into the, like, what if if I take away their powers, or if I have to nerf them, your answer is pretty fucking clear. Like,
yeah.
So that's why I love it with like the Superman argument. Whenever Superman gets brought up, and I'm like, don't use Superman, guys. I'm like, this isn't a fight that you want. Yeah, but what if he fought Goku? I'm like, Superman's beating the fuck out of him.
Like, I think Superman's fucking Goku up 6 pairs on Sunday for sure.
And I was like, so I started looking. I like looking into the stuff because I'm like, oh, maybe I could be wrong. And then I saw one saying that Superman, one of the comics, I don't know, so because they always do the amalgam or a fucking mix of like different variants, right? And like one of the comics, he has attained all the memories and abilities of all the previous versions. And that version came out in like 2014. So I was like, that's like a fuck ton of years of getting out. Yeah, Goku's get no. I was like,
dude, Ultra Instinct is cool. It is. But Goku didn't turn the world's axis to turn back time.
Goku doesn't sneeze away galaxies. He'll punch and crack a multiverse or crack the universe. That's cool. Superman's like, let me go do that just casually.
Yeah. If you want to talk about like galaxy bending, like the only thing I think in anime that could even contend with like his power, like in popular anime, you gotta have the motherfucker fight Tengen Top and Gurren Lagann. Like, I mean the dude standing on top of universes. I'm not talking about
Spiral or whatever.
Yeah. Like when you could physically see in separate universes looking up at the mech. That's the only thing that maybe Superman will be like, all right, that's a little much. We might need to figure something out.
That's fair. Like, what if Goku versus Superman on a Beyblade duel? The fact of they're called Bey battles, excuse me. And I will say, when it comes to Goku versus Superman, you guys don't realize that just that you would need, I don't even know, it'd have to be made of something insane for them to be able to hold on to that fucking launcher without crushing it immediately. But I will tell you what, that Beyblade is, if it's not made of some sort of fucking powerful ass metal, it's dissolving immediately by air friction.
Yeah, it's so good. Shout out to Beyblade.
I love Beyblades. But now if they got into a Yu-Gi-Oh duel,
nah, Yami clears. Yeah, Yami clears every time.
Like, why did Yami clear? Because he's just like, hey, I'm gonna summon this monster.
Oh, speaking of Edge, did you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0?
A little bit here and there, but not much. But I do know I'm very well versed in my shit.
Season 0 is nuts, man. Season 0 is a lot of fun, but that one is I kind of like, even though Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like fun as a card game, I really do fuck with like Season 0 Yami Yugi. Just because straight up like either you do this or I'm gonna tase your nuts off. So figure that shit out.
Like, oh, okay. Like, damn, like we're getting that serious.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
That's what like as a person who I still play the card game now, and as a person who like just I will say that this is probably a hot take that It's an actual hot take, okay? Not one of those like hot take the Hulk can beat up fucking Thanos or something stupid shit. But Yu-Gi-Oh! DM is not even the top 3 best Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
put it in 4th, personally. I think 5Ds is better. I think Zexal is better.
Oh, that is a hot take. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh
and
boy.
because Zexal is one that I actually incredibly enjoyed. I thought it was much more interesting than the originals, Duel Monsters. And this one's probably the one that I would put at. I had it up higher, but I'm gonna probably just still put GX up there. I don't think GX is actually all that great. And when it comes to ones like 5Ds, it doesn't even hold a candle to it. I think it's more nostalgia based than anything.
Right.
But when it comes to DM, I would probably put it in 5th. Below, for the most part, I would put Vrains above it. And I'm talking about the 6. I never watched like the Rush dual versions, but
Right.
I would put it in 6. I would put in I'd put it in 5th. I would put Vrains in 4th, and then I would put Arc V, which sucks because Arc 5 was one I watched and I enjoyed the series, but the ending, the I would say the ending, but like season like 3 seasons in, or 3 or 4 seasons in, and it just fucking tanked for me.
Right.
And I was so mad. Like season of Rain, the Rain series did the kind of the same thing a little bit, but it was, for the most part, the first 2 arcs really held up well, and the 3rd arc still holds up. It's just not as good. But it's
Okay.
funny because whenever I say that, people are like, what the Dark Magician? And I'm like,
I think it's completely fine to especially when you're presented with more. If you don't immediately throw the OG in as like the best thing, like it doesn't have to be the best thing.
yeah.
Sometimes they just learn the formula and they realize that there's something that works better than the original did it, you know.
And
I
that's one
and
thing.
it sounds like Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely a use case. I don't really watch a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'm familiar with a lot of the just the stuff, just because, like, you know, by sheer virtue of like consuming media via proxy through all my friends and people, you know, like that.
Fair.
But like it makes sense. I mean, Duel Monsters is like the first time they were even doing anything with that. But like obviously later on in life, when they're figuring stuff out, I was like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Heart of the Cards isn't necessarily the best thing every single time, but you know.
Right, and that's the thing, is like a lot of it is like the blueprints. Even like when I use like Dragon Ball was a huge blueprint for pretty much almost every single shonen that we have.
Right.
You know, you see that Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, especially Bleach, was a big one for quite a few shows. You know, and so they're all blueprints and they all stack on top of each other. Eventually, even the shows now that we see, like My Hero Academia and like Jujutsu Kaisen, are all going to be blueprints to more stuff later on.
Right.
You know, and I think people forget that. That's why they also, people just love to compare shit. Like it's insane.
That's why I wanted to tell you. I don't know. At some point, we got to link back up. Maybe in a year. I'm going to give it a year. I'll tell you why. I have right now. It's considered a nuclear hot take. It is considered a nuclear hot take about games, about a particular game that is very, very popular right now.
Okay.
In a year, it'll calm down. But that's why I'm keeping it to me, because if I put it out there in the grand scheme of things, people are gonna fucking rip me to shreds. And I know what, I'll tell you, it's like so. I'm normally okay with like being like upfront about stuff like this, but because this game, people are so in love with it, and they love it to bits, and it's everyone's game of the year right now.
Oh no!
I think you're putting 2 and 2 together, slowly but surely. I want to basically be so clear right now. I'm not saying it's bad.
Just
I am not saying it's
it
bad.
It didn't hit you as hard as you thought.
I think the resources that particular game, that I will not name, but if you have context clues, the genre that it pulls from, that it is very much inspired by, and it was a lot of it too. If you played more of those games, you would not be as over the moon for this one. Is it good? Yes, 100%. But there was a situation. I haven't beaten it yet. I have to beat it. I'm very close. I'm very close. I'm at the FF7 part 3, where they're like, okay, either final boss fight or you now have the ability to fly around.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So I will say, unfortunately, I called a lot of the story out beforehand because of the fact that I played a lot of JRPGs. Okay, the wall's getting thinner and thinner on the game because I've played a ton of JRPGs. I 100% called out most of the storyline, and when I had it confirmed to me, because I was like, I'm not going to get around to it for a while now, so I talked to my friend Matt, and he and I have the same exact feeling on it, where it's like, for people who have not played this kind of game before, this is fantastic.
Yep.
For people like me who this is their bread and butter, I've played games like this all the time with just as many moving storylines and crazy shit going on.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, you know, it's not a JRPG until you're fighting God. So, like,
you know,
I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I'm a big Persona fan, especially when I started late. I started with 5. I didn't have a chance to start with the other one. So, like, I'm happy for these revive ones. And I was like, that's one thing I noticed with Persona, with any kind of with the JRPGs that I played. I'm like, you eventually just go fight God.
There's a really fantastic video I got to remember to send it to you at some point. That talks about like why do a lot of JRPGs end in you fighting God, and it's like it looks into the history of Japan and like all of like the invasions that they had incurred over the years, and how like a foreign entity alien god might be like why it's always constantly a fight in Japanese games might actually just be an allegory for foreign invaders and things of that nature. And I was like, that's really interesting. This is a great video. I liked the video a lot.
Is it Moon Channel?
I think it is Moon Channel. Moon Channel has a lot of really good stuff. I think it's hold on.
I'm actually excited.
Yeah, why do you always kill God in JRPGs? 100%. It's a fantastic video when you take a look into it.
Yeah, I don't kill gods in Pokemon. I catch gods and then I become God. So does that make me God if I catch the God? Like
in Pokemon, yeah. Yeah, that makes you the 10-year-old a god. I don't know why they're allowing 10-year-olds to walk around and capture beings that have the ability to literally decide reality perception. But
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, could you imagine just being like a normal trainer? This kid's like, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, cool. So I throw out my like, you know, fucking Blaziken, right? And he just dropped Giratina, and I'm like,
yeah, you drop like you're gonna fight my kitty cat with an eldritch god, you stupid asshole. What are you doing?
Just like use scratch attack, please don't.
This man's about to like move his arm and literally annihilate civilizations. Like, what are you doing? How'd you even get that guy? You're 10 years old.
Giratina uses Hakai and just like, no! Like, it's basically Pokemon Brightburn. Like,
yeah. What's to stop one of these fucking kids from just like, you know, doing some ignorant shit, man? Like, it's crazy.
Like the one that I told my friend this one time, I'm like, so did you capture Mewtwo, or did Mewtwo actually want to be captured and just convince you to do it?
That's fucked up. I hate that. Don't like that at all. Roko's basilisk ass fucking Pokemon.
It needed to escape, so that's what happened. And I was like, could you imagine? Like, I can't imagine being the parents and just being like, Mom, I captured a Zapdos. The fuck is a Zapdos? Well, I found it in this power plant. How the fuck you get into the power plant? Well, it was abandoned. Why was it abandoned?
Yeah, like, that's like, why if there was a game that I wanted because there is lore to the universe of Pokemon that all of this is post-war.
Right.
So it's like, oh, what the fuck was that war that completely changed the landscape of the world to be like, yeah, 10-year-olds just go out and do this occasionally now. Well, like, what the fuck happened?
If you know, Lieutenant Surge is one of those people who was in the Pokemon War.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and they're just like, hey, are we going to talk about that war?
No, because it's a children's game and Game Freak also. I mean, they're making that other weird game, which I don't know how somebody convinced Nintendo to let those guys out of the woodlock.
That one, I don't remember what it's called, but it looked. Yeah, I remember as soon as people saw that it was Game Freak, and everyone just like,
yeah, like, what do you mean? they got out? They got out of their Pokemon cage? What do you mean? Who let them?
is there a catch feature in this?
Oh man.
Like, sir, this isn't Pal World. I was saying, if God didn't want to catch these hands, he shouldn't have gave me a pair of guns.
You know, God, I love JRPGs. I really do.
I mean,
guys, that game, I know you know what game it is really good, but it's just not.
That being said,
so
Killer Bunny,
coming after me over that shit. I'm like, ugh.
there's no better anime fights than just two people, just hands.
Oh, oh. Have you played it for 14?
No, I haven't.
I don't know if you ever will though, because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, there's just, and that's the thing to me. It's just when there is just two characters like zapping around everywhere, and it's just hand fights. I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. That's what actually. Well, I'll praise Naruto for. I love Naruto's hand fights. Like whenever they get to a moment when they actually start using taijutsu, I actually have a lot of fun with it.
Right.
It's definitely the blueprint for what we see. Like JJK is basically just fights. Like I was like hand fights. Like
it's not even fights. JJK is like stomp the yard on some bitches. Like they will just let them up.
Well, that's what that fight back,
motherfucker, fight back.
And that's what I'll say too, because I agree with you on that one big time. Where it's just like JJK is just they call it like jump jutsu kaisen, where like, and like I was like when I watch it, I crack up because that's how fighting should be, right? Like not no Goku versus Goku fights and then Vegeta fights. Like, no, like, hey, this guy is an enemy. This guy could be a real menace. And they're just like, all right, you, me, all right, we got it. Like at that point, they're all just whooping the shit out of them.
They're just whooping the shit out of these people.
Oh yeah, and I love that too. I was like, I loved the old good old fashioned, like, I mean, I love a one-sided fight. I think they're hilarious. But there's just a jump the jump feature. I'm just gonna call it the jump feature in Jujutsu Kaisen, where whether it was when Yuji and Nanami beat the shit out of Mahito, and just watching it back and forth. Also, that kid is all hands. Like the kid does not.
So cool. If that shit doesn't get you pumped, like even as someone, I'm not like the biggest fan of JJK, but like anytime someone puts on JJK and a fight scene comes on, I'm just like, I need to go to the gym. I need to start boxing some motherfuckers.
Right, no, exactly. And I was watching, so I'll say on TikTok, someone was scrolling through and someone actually aired the Infinity Castle from Demon Slayer.
Oh, okay.
So I was watching like the animated fights from there. He's like, I'm gonna do this till I get taken down. So I'm like, oh, I gotta watch as much as fucking possible then. Like, I know it's gonna get taken down, and it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but Demon Slayer's animation has always been good.
Mm-hmm.
Like their animated fights have always been something. But yeah, like as much as I love swords, I love sword fights. I love superpower going up. There's something about a dude who just decides, all right, fuck it, and just like, whether it's to taking the clothes off or just being like, puts his hands up, and you're like, oh shit.
I will not give context for story spoilers because it's one of my favorite tropes ever. But FO14, when I was talking about, pretty much like not this latest expansion, but the one before it, which was considered quote unquote the ending of a major storyline. There is a character that's kind of like a rival character, and at this point where you guys are at, you are literally standing on the edge of the universe with this guy, and he turns to you and he's like, "Listen, man. Regardless of it's like he's talking to the player, like regardless of you being a goody little two shoes and saving everything." You do this because you love it for the thrill of the fight, don't you? You love that shit. And you have a bunch of choices you can tell him, but there's only one right choice, which is, you're goddamn right, I love this shit. And since your character doesn't talk, like it's even funnier because you look at the character and you press that option and it's like looking down to the ground with their eyes closed. And you open that up, they open their eyes and they just have this smirk on their face. And he just goes, yes, I knew it. Let's fight. And you're like, yeah, let's fight. And you are fighting, and it's like the coolest final boss. And it ends with like both of your weapons are thrown away, and you're sitting at the edge of the universe throwing hands, just straight up punching the shit out of each other. And I'm like, awesome. That's the sickest. That is my favorite trope, is just when you're just in this impossible alternate dimension, and it's only you and this other guy. and you're literally fighting with like dimensional powers, and it doesn't matter because it all just ends up you being like, nah, fuck it, box me right now. It's
No,
my
that's
favorite
so fair.
trope, dog.
I'm not gonna lie. That is something that is just amazing. I personally love. I don't know why, but I love the unassuming character trope, or like
Yeah.
or that one, or like where it's like usually it's usually like a small character. Actually, I think one of the best versions of this was actually Frieza. When Frieza hits his final form, and they're just like, okay, like what the fuck is this? And then just boom, Ping's like starts just bodying everybody, and you're like, oh
Oh,
damn.
okay. This man's real. Okay, got
Like,
it.
he gonna rock my shit. Like, and I love that, but I love that motion. I love that whole kind of like world and that trope, excuse me. But I'm not gonna lie to you, there's one that gets me hyped, and it's just the old man trope. Like when the old character walks up and you're just like whether it's Yamamoto from Bleach, I believe, I can't think of his name. Is it Netero
Yeah.
from Hunter x Hunter? You're just like, you see that old man. Jiraiya is another one too, where you just like, okay, it's gonna end.
Be fearful. What's the I'm paraphrasing here, but it's be fearful of an old man in a profession where men die young.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fucking, that line goes hard.
It's a hard ass line, isn't it? I heard that shit. I was like, yo.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, as much as I love story narratives, I am a sucker for like the strongest. Because that's like, when I was a kid, that's what it was. You saw like a character like, let's say, Kenpachi, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kenpachi from Bleach, and you're just like, oh, he's just strong. Well, how is he? I guess I'll just use 2 hands, and then just carves up fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, or like, I think the biggest one, at least from my, how long you say 34, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so from the same generation to become 33. So it's when Rock Lee went fucking 5th gate for the first time.
Took his fucking, he takes the weights off. He's like, oh, hold on, guys.
Yeah. Like, he's like, yeah, these weights, and you're like, okay, they're just
Shit,
weights.
what?
Look ground up, and you're like, oh. I go to my parents, I'm like, can I do that?
So good, dude.
Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. But that's a story for another time, because I can talk anime for days.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate you being here, man. I really do.
I appreciate you bringing me on, man. I mean,
oh,
you're the bigger guy here. You've got so many more followers than I do. So this is you do me a favor. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. I love bringing people up. I love just bullshitting. I'm planning on doing a end of the year, like a gaming end of the year review thing. Also,
Yeah.
I'll do one for the video game awards. So if you got time, I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you a hit.
Absolutely. I met the other day, actually. It was really cool. Is Zoomed In Gaming. He's a really cool guy too. I don't know if I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. You know Stroop? He's like good friends with Stroop Waffle, I think.
Okay. I don't think I know him, but I will definitely check him out. Zoomed In
really
does
cool.
sound familiar, though. I think he has jumped into my life. I'm surprised. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm surprised with how many like other gamers have jumped into like lives that I've had before.
Oh yeah.
But like, I just sit there and I'm like, I'm just talking about random bullshit, and like that's like why I mentioned like the Mindful Gamer who was in mine previously. That dude sat there with over like 1 million followers, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I think that's so cool that like he's been able to build up a community that large, and like to be able to go and talk, because at the end of the day, we all a community. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we all help each other. Most of them. Some people are dicks, but like,
listen, man. Let me tell you something. So I know that as someone who's like always been famous, because some of my people in here, they follow me for years. I've always been guilty of being famous by association. Because one of my best friends is Lyle, and you might know him from Oni Plays and stuff like that. So like,
really,
yeah, he's one of my best friends of all time, and I've always been like just chilling with him and doing stuff, and it's always been that situation of like, occasionally I'll have motherfuckers come up on my DM and try to dick ladder to like get over to him, and I'm just like, come on, dog, like that's my brother. I'm not gonna fucking like what. Hey Lyle, come in and play like fuck off, dude. But like,
Oh, that's dumb.
we're all a community here. That's what I love so much about like what I've seen, specifically like TikTok mainly, because that's kind of where I'm like encountering a lot of these people. Is like Game Gab,
Game
Stroopwafel
Game
is
Gab
I'm
is
dope.
I love that. I love Game
guy's really cool. I haven't been. I want to like get like we got to get like a stream going. We're just all playing some fucking game or something because I
Oh,
haven't
hell
really
yeah.
like sat down and talked with him. He just kind of followed me when I responded to one of his videos one day, and he seems like a really cool guy. You know,
He is. He's chill. He's chill as hell. Between him, I want to do one of Diablo. I just downloaded Diablo 4. And so I was like, I would love to do not like a straight run through because I'm thinking that game takes 4 hours.
oh yeah. I
But
want to try
like,
Diablo. I want to try the new class. I got to get around to getting the expansion.
what's
though.
the new
My ass is
class?
unemployed right now, so I gotta save my money when I can.
That's fair. I have the PlayStation Plus or whatever. So like the premium one, I pay that like every year. So like
Okay. And that's
it's
crossplay, yeah. D4 is crossplay.
I believe so. Um,
Yes, it is.
yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Because I have the X1 on Xbox, but like I only have an Xbox Series S, so it takes up like pretty much almost like half of my space just for that alone.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just like I made a character on there. It was fun for a little while, but I might try something different. That character's name is Bumhilda, and so
Hell yeah.
like I was like the whole time I'm playing with some friends, and I'm like Bumhilda swarms entire villages because I was watching what's that show called, Deadliest Warrior, if you remember
Yeah.
that. And like
Yeah.
the way that the guy talks is very much like this the entire time. So
I could go on a tangent about all those crazy ass Spike TV shows back in the day, bro.
There's my fucking
Oh my
100
God.
ways or 1,000 ways to die. Fucking
1,000 Ways to Die.
Mansers. And I'm like, wow, this is no
You
wonder
can't
this.
you cannot do that shit no more. And you
No.
probably shouldn't, to be entirely honest.
No, you shouldn't. And like the thing that was so funny about it too is when I sit back, because I did that whole thing with G4, and I was like watching Code Monkeys, and I was like, this show is so bad. Like it
Yeah.
actually hurts. Like,
Yeah.
like
dude, before, because I don't want to get into a tangent to keep holding you up. I'm sorry.
you're all good, man.
X-Play. I loved X-Play, right? I saw their Bot and Kaitos review. That shit is mad racist, dog. That shit is them 100% pulling out the Japanese, oh, so good, like type shit. Like, it is bad.
It is. It's crazy. So I have not done X-Play yet, and I have not done Attack of the Show yet. And the reason why is because one, I'm keeping them for last because I feel like they have the biggest, and that's what's going to take like actually like a decent amount of time to make that video.
Yes.
Because I feel like I need to do it in different parts, and I don't want to do the revival because I've already talked about the revival, and to be honest, like looking back at it now as like a 30-some-year-old man, that revival was terrible.
Like that revival gets a lot of shit.
But you know what? One that doesn't deserve shit is honestly look. Being a man and growing up, maturing is realizing that Frost was not wrong in her and what she said.
I don't want to. I'm saying, man. Listen. We can't. I've been keeping you here for 2 hours. We can't.
I have 4 days off.
All right.
You might as well just go. We're continuing. This is called Afro with the no after hours. Like,
listen, my biggest problem with the Frost thing was it was born with such well intention, and everything about it made sense, and nothing they said was wrong. But it was done to the wrong audience because G4, when you look back at its earlier, at the later days of its life cycle, it was bought up by Spike TV. So like these are the same guys who are like Olivia Munn eating hot dogs from the top of the fucking look at the phallic object going in Olivia Munn's mouth. Ooh, like that's what they were. And then when you try to come back and you try to be, unfortunately, what they're considering woke, it doesn't matter if you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's. For these people, it's just like, oh, they're making me feel bad because I'm a gamer. Oh, geez, man. Well, fuck that bitch in particular. And it just
it's amazing.
It's so frustrating.
It's amazing the amount of mental gymnastics that a lot of especially a lot of these toxic gamers, I'm going to put them as toxic gamers, and not just toxic gamers, just toxic people in general, will go to make themselves seem like a victim. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I know that, you know, the only thing I care about is Olivia Munn when I just gooned to her the entire time. But she said I was stupid.
She said I was really stupid because I'm a gooner. Like,
Yeah,
dog,
because I'm a gooner.
listen, I love a big fat pair of titties and ass in my face just as much as the next red-blooded cis American scum. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, everybody does. It don't matter at this point. Titties are universal across the way, but I also know there's a person behind that pair of titties, dog. Like there always is.
And that's why I actually I messaged Adam Sessler because he's on TikTok, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm doing a talk about X Play, the original series. I'm not really talking about the revival at the moment, but I'm actually really curious. I'm like, in your opinion, did G4 contribute to some of the incel culture that we have seen throughout, especially when it revolved around things like Gamergate, etc.? And I was like, if so, I haven't got anything back yet. I don't think I will, but I wanted to at least go out and at least say something and ask. Because the worst thing I get is no answer, and the best thing I get is an answer. So I'm not gonna worry too much about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Speaking of Deadliest Warriors, does anybody remember that same type of show but with animals? I think it was on Animal. I do think I remember Animal Planet doing one where they had replicas of where like certain ones like dinosaurs and shit like that. I can't wait for them to do the like Deadliest Warrior 100 men versus one gorilla.
Also, I don't know about you. Technically, 100 men can kill a gorilla. I'm not one of those 100 men. I'm out. I get caught. I'm dead. That's it.
I'm turning around and being, what happened? Oh, I'm being mind controlled. Just like fighting the other dudes because I ain't fighting that gorilla.
There's 99 other motherfuckers
on an episode of X-Play?
Yeah, how did that work, Wolf?
Like, I think the ones that cracked me up was when they were talking about Resident Evil 5, and they were like, but Resident Evil 5, like you're going after other black people and it can be considered racist. And I'm just like, you know, the way that you put an emphasis on there, something about that doesn't feel right.
Yep.
I between them, I will say, in their fairness, they did actually introduce me to some of the most dope games that I think I would ever think about, like Katamari Damacy, which I have said at this point, Katamari Damacy needs its own like robot chicken like skits.
Have you played 2 a T yet?
No.
2 a T is fantastic. You know what I'm talking about or no?
2 a T. Let me go check that out.
2 a T it's a latest game made by the Katamari Damacy guy. Mm-hmm. It is about it's actually really cool. It's done in association with the I think Able Gamers Association as well.
Oh, okay.
And the idea is it's about you play a kid who is cursed to an infinite T pose. And you have to basically live your life like trying to like figure stuff out in the infinite T pose. And it's so cute. It's I had a whole video on it, and of course, like piece of shit fucking gamer types. Here's the worst part about it too: when you have smaller communities, the negative comments rise to the top really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Really fast. Because there's always gonna be nice people who are kind of like they just like your stuff and they move on. But there's always gonna be that one motherfucker who's just like, oh, because I had a whole video on like, hey, games that you should look forward to in 2025. That no one was really talking about, and one of those was 2 a T, because I'm super big fan of that guy. I forget Keita Takahashi, I think his name is. And I brought it up because I was like, I played the demo. The demo's fantastic. It's like it's super vibey the whole way throughout. And this guy was like, the fucking Magic T pose game. You're gonna be excited about that. That's how I know this list is dog shit. I was like, okay, dickhead, whatever. But like,
okay, like cool. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This 2 a T thing is fucking like just stupid funny.
It's the demo. I played it. It's one of those like, if you want hope, like I think hope core is a word I keep hearing thrown around a lot. That seems to be like a kind of new genre of entertainment that people are sort of like gravitating towards. I consider Superman 2025 hope core for sure.
Do too. I'm watching this reveal trailer and
yeah, it's good, man. It's so cool, and it's like that kind of creativity is like so. I don't know. It's just so goddamn next level, bro.
When they did their first live show at PAX East like a decade ago, I answered some trivia questions and won signed copies of the 3 worst games they've ever reviewed. I also ran into the cast 3 other times, once at a con and 2 more times at an airport leaving. Oh, damn, that's pretty cool, actually.
I was gonna say, Wolf, because like you and Jesus right now are working really alongside the guys who are running the actual Cyberpunk TTRPG.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if Wolf has, but our friend Jesus, who's also another guy, who's like a follower of mine, he met Michael Pondsmith, and he says that guy's really fucking cool. Who is the creator of Cyberpunk entirely?
That's fucking dope.
And it's so cool.
See, I think
Jesus has
that's
been for a while. It's my first year working with him. Okay, cool.
yeah, that's awesome. Like I it's just cool when you realize like who you all meet and stuff like that, just from like simple mutuals. You know what I mean?
I was talking to fucking Zoomed in and a couple of my friends about this. Because degrees of separation, right? That's why I'm like, I love this shit. I love what we're doing right now, where it's just like, I don't give a fuck about clout. What I give a fuck about is I'm selfish. I want more content to consume. I want more cool people to make more cool shit so that I can sit in my little fucking my bed and be like tee hee hee on my fucking phone, scrolling and enjoying time. So like it's so cool to see like TikTok and like I know so many different people doing stuff. Like I said with my friend Lyle, he does his stuff. I got friends who work over at Tampa Never Sleeps, so they're running Evo streams and stuff like that with like Tong and Jabali and everybody. I've got friends who work in like the cosplay market and stuff like that. I've got friends who are in the music side of things, and it's just amazing to be surrounded by creatives and people who just want to do cool shit. You know what I mean? Because it makes you want to do cool shit. That's just amazing feedback loop where you're just like, I gotta catch up. These people are doing cool shit. I got to do something cool too. You know?
Exactly, and that's why I mean, for myself, I started with like the simple like, what game would you want to see a remaster for?
Yeah.
Like you just keep branching off from there. And now I have I like having kind of discussions of stuff like I want to know stuff that inspired you. I want to know stuff that, and I'm specific on it too, but like I've said before, dumb fucks can't read. So like, which game came out in the last 5 years that really changed your perspective on something? Just for like a hypothetical example, I have one of them similar to the past 5 years, but it's just kind of whatever. And then I get people being like, well, it didn't come out in the last 5 years, but it did come out in like 10 years ago. And I'm like, that's not what I fucking asked. like I just, oh my God. It shouldn't bother. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't actually bother me. But there's just a part of you that's like, you can definitely tell that reading was not your first, second, or third choice. There was it, bud.
Or they didn't watch your video. That's the worst part.
Yeah,
I have a lot of videos where I spend upwards of like 5 to 9 minutes talking about a particular subject, and I'll go over what that thing was talked about. And some motherfucker will be like, I think the worst one was, I was largely negative on this one, I admit, because I'm a huge Remedy fan, but it still haunts me to this day. FBC Firebreak, I did not like whatsoever. I was very pumped for it.
I didn't either.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great. It doesn't feel like a Remedy game. Not at all. So I had a really scathing review, but I had it in 2 parts because I forgot that you could upload a TikTok multiple, like upwards of like 60 minutes. So I uploaded it in 2 parts, 2-minute 8 parts. My first video had 400 views. The second one popped up at 16,000. So all people saw was on the TikTok, the 16,000, the me being very, very angry and having none of the context I provided in part 1.
Oh no.
And some guy came on and said that I was the reason why video games are dying, that I should stop while I'm ahead. Like it was the meanest comment I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
And I've been through some crazy shit. I have. In my kind of like, I've been kind of on and off content creation since 2012. And I've had some really mean motherfuckers say some shit to my face before. Which is why I'm using the little walrus guy as opposed to showing my real face.
No, that's fair.
But I've had some just really rude motherfuckers, and that guy, he gave me something to think about. I was like, okay, you're an asshole and completely wrong, but this is like, you are hurt, and you are trying to hurt me. Like, this is a lot for just a negative video game review that I completely supplied the information you were looking for, and you
And
just
that's
didn't watch the rest of the review.
they don't, and that's why like for example, there was one that there's 3 of them that I've done lately that have actually done pretty well. But one of them was about Gamergate and how people go from because of Gamergate, it led to the quote unquote people going through the all right pipeline. But the way that like your video, the video is still worded in a way that still looks like something. It's the women's fault that you are turning into that. And I'm like, nah, that's not how that works.
That's not how it works.
But the second one that really got me too was I'm looking up it right now. Was story. So this guy who was going off about, I don't know if you saw it, but the guy was going off about story games, right? And they're like, man, I don't know why you want to play story games rather than playing competitive. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, and so I put that one up there. It did well. I think it's sitting at like over almost like 2,500 views. And so I just sat there. And the only reason I even put it up because I sat there and I was like, are you dumb? And so I had a couple other mutuals who were like, hey, can I get this video? I'm like, sure, here you go. I was like, man, this is a fucking L take if I ever saw one. But there's a new one that just happened that I uploaded earlier this morning, and I actually thought it was a really good take. The guy was talking about competitive players and competitive versus casual, right? And the thing is that we see this a lot where casual players will be like, oh, these guys are tryhards, blah blah blah. But I'm like, we never see this on the opposite foot. If you are a casual player, why are you getting into ranked matches and then getting mad? When you can't jump into a lobby of ranked people and expect them to play your way. I'm like, that's entitlement. We don't, So it was kind of one of those takes where I'm like, okay, cool. Like if this sounds good, like I will give you all the props for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like I see people who give like the negative takes, and I really don't fucking care. Like if you're like, well, you're just one of the worst content creators that I've ever seen existed, I'd be like, damn, I'm doing a good job. You know what I mean? Because I still got your bitch ass to engage.
Yeah, you still gave me a comment, little bitch. This is why I wish that like TikTok did something similar to YouTube. YouTube has this really awesome function, and what it is you just hide. You don't delete the comment. You hide the comment. So the comment still technically gives you engagement and works on your video, but no one can see that comment anymore. So they block that user from the channel. That user can continuously make comments, and it still acts as an engagement to the algorithm. So if you have haters, like I've seen this one guy, I forget his name. God bless this man. I forget this gentleman who's like, you've probably seen it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This game's got 60 minutes to go ahead and prove. Yeah, that guy. Every video is this guy like Concord. Every video, everyone. I'm like, listen, I may disagree with some of this man's takes, but the amount of vitriol this man could, like, the amount of flack this man catches on a daily basis because he said, yeah, Concord wasn't so bad. And it wasn't. We talked about it the other day. It was a completely functioning video game. It had some cool things. But this man cannot shake these motherfuckers, bro. And I kind of wish that like TikTok would give you the option to just hide that comment or hide that user and just let them like in a little echo chamber and talk to themselves over and over and over again. Because it's a great way to keep the vibes in your comment section up, while still simultaneously being able to benefit from the largely negative Nancy's that do everything in their power to like try to bring you down,
I had a video I made one time. I don't even remember what it was, but it went from just a video of just like a guy trying to disagree with it that led all the way into the 13% of the population commits 50% of the crimes kind of bullshit. And I'm sitting there like, where the fuck did we get to this? And I think it was about, I don't fucking remember. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was. But I just sat there and I was like, dog, like, why'd you bring this up? But it's crazy the amount of vitriol that like a lot, like there's gamers that will just spew out like fucking crazy. And I think, it's a good thing to kind of call them out. I think there's no problem with it, especially like if you have one being like, well, it's because you like watching, playing all damn woke games, you know. You just like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally sorry that I like seeing other minorities in video games. I like seeing women in video games. You like seeing women in video games, you know. So it's just like, you know, if you just start calling it what it is, and then they start crashing out, but they still give you the engagement, so fuck it. But like,
Easy way to go about it. Okay,
yeah,
define woke. Define
yeah,
woke to me.
define woke.
Well, it's this, and that. I'm like, okay. So they add this. What does that make it? Woke. Why? Because they're pandering to what? To who? You just keep asking questions. You just keep asking questions until they finally have to say it out loud. Man, I don't like black people. It's like, oh, okay. Well, as long as you say it out loud. Listen, I have a controversial take when it comes to, because like, you know what, my fucking horrible, I hate it. Because even unfortunately, Dave Chappelle does this now too. Is comedians who sit there and they go, well, you can't say that anymore. Yeah, you can. Say it with your whole chest.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you suffer consequences from the action you just said doesn't mean you can't say it. Exactly. I don't know why you're being a pussy little bitch about this. Just say your joke. But you got to also understand, if you catch flack for that joke, dog, that there's a reason.
I had a dude who was basically said the same thing. He's from the UK. He was saying the same thing to me. My buddy in here, Black Scorpio, he knows who I'm talking about. But and he was saying the same thing. He's like, well, first he said about not that why I don't think anyone should be able to say the N-word. And I was like, well, that's really white of you. And then
oh shit.
And so, and so he's like, well, I just think it's, it's about time that you guys move past it. And I was like, first off, you're from the UK, you're not from America. Second of all, you don't get to really tell anyone when all of a sudden they don't get to use a word because you don't get to use the word, and it led to the last thing that I heard was he brought up, he just kind of, when he's like you let someone talk, they just start outing themselves.
Yep.
And I don't really talk. I really, actually, I don't know the last time I've actually talked to this dude. It's been at least a year. But what happened was he basically made a comment saying that the population of LGBT people, especially he was talking about people who are gay, he's like, well, they can't have kids anyways because they're gay. And I was like, that's you really think that? I was like, you really think that? Like, and he's like, well, yeah. He's like, why would they? And I'm like, that's
surrogates, adoption. What?
I was like, you realize, I'm like, just because a man is gay, that doesn't stop him from being able to do something with a woman in order for them to have a child.
Yeah, the surrogate or the adoption or anything.
How many times were there was men who were actually gay who were actually in marriages because it was actually easier than actually trying to come out. And so I sat there and I was like, wow, like I was just like, holy shit. And he said, well, that's just my opinion. I'm like, your opinion is factually wrong. But yeah.
I hate that. I hate that whole thing of like, well, it's my opinion and you should respect my opinion. It's like, I don't gotta respect shit about your opinion. You told me your opinion. I can tell you if it's ass.
Like, exactly. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's so funny too, because I get people like that where it's just like, well, people just don't respect other people's opinions. Well, when your opinion is basically not only factually wrong on a simple Google search, but like any kind of like biological sense whatsoever, but your opinion is also just baked in like homophobia.
Yeah,
we're gonna call it like it is. It isn't just like. And I'm a big believer in this, and I'm like, racism, homophobia, they aren't up for like just respecting each other. Like, we'll just agree to disagree. I was like, I cut a friend off after he tried to tell me that trans people were the problem in the military, and I was like, how are they a problem in the military? I'm like, which people were trans in your division? I was like, last time I checked, you're the one who got fucking dishonorably discharged for fucking drinking on the job. So like, I was like, how the fuck are you going to tell them that they're not the ones that are causing the problems when, one, you don't know who they are, and like it's like some sort of like sleeper agent or something like that. Like, oh man, the T-Force, you know what I mean? Like, they're here.
If that cute little femboy didn't hand me the bottle, I wouldn't have drank anything. Like,
right.
What do you, like, dog? What?
I knew this water was speaked.
They spiked this water with the gay hormone. I knew it. I was looking at that man's butt. Ah, jeez.
And so I just sit there and I'm like, you like, listening to some of y'all are so fucking dumb. And then, they come into my lives, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, we had a dude who was trying to talk to me about historical accuracy about Assassin's Creed. And he was like, Assassin's Creed is like, I want, because it was right before Shadows came out, right? And like
Right.
all of a sudden, everyone became fucking historians on Japanese history. Like, and he's like, well, we don't, Assassin's Creed has always been about historical accuracy. I'm like, yes, the sci-fi historical fantasy game where I fist fought the Pope is definitely about historical accuracy.
Fist fought the Pope because you're trying to pick up an alien artifact from stopping the sun from blazing
Right.
too hard in the universe. Okay, thanks,
The
guys.
fact that I could jump off pretty much skyscrapers and land unharmed into a fucking hay bale. Like,
Yeah, also, it's totally just like in real life. If I do something in VR enough, it'll do this thing called the bleed through effect, and I become an assassin, just like in real life. Stupid fucking bastard.
like, I was like, wow. I was like, so he was
Because
like,
this goes back to your previous point. It is so easy to hate. It is so easy to hate. It sucks.
it is.
It
Like,
sucks.
And then so when you point them out, that's when they'll delve back into it's just my opinion, or if you're talking about something political, well, both parties do it, so it's equally bad. Or like, and I've seen that before too, where it's like, because I got into a live. I'll get into that one at a different time. But like the one of them I was in was, I call it, the third one I like to call is it's not that deep crowd, right? And we were talking about Star Wars. We were talking about Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, because Star Wars is political. And this guy joins into the live. It's not mine. It's someone else's. And he's like, but it's not even that deep. And I was like, what are you even talking about? He's like, Star Wars isn't even political. And I was like,
say
Star
you
Wars
lack
is-
critical thinking skills without saying you lack critical thinking skills.
basically, it's the equivalent of like the lightsaber. You just like the spitty lights. Like you have become the cat in the laser pointer.
Yep.
Like, so I was just sitting there like, holy shit, nothing like lying down on a table with VR to develop the needed muscles to do all that fighting and parkour. Dude, I wish it was that easy, but I'm not going to lie to you. I really don't want to go lie down and figure out what my ancestors were.
No, me, dude. Like I said, I'm Cuban, but I come from Spanish royalty. Do you think I want to find out what travesties I'm fucking partaking to? Fuck that.
Just shaking.
Fuck that. Hell no.
No, because like I'm gonna look back and like, well, you look back in your ancestors and be like, are you okay? Oh,
shit, dog. My ancestors suck, bro.
Like all I know myself is that all I'm gonna have is I'm not gonna have no parkour. Okay, I'm gonna no parkour. I'm gonna be malnourished. I'm probably gonna have like a really beaten up butthole and just absolutely broken beyond all belief.
It's like that really, it's a bad joke, but in a good, like it's an edgy joke, but in a good way, where it's like, yeah, technically the highest form of white privilege is time travel. Because black people can't go back in time. That's not for sure.
That's what, like, whenever someone's like, oh my god, I would love to be able to like manipulate and go back and forth through time and stuff. And they're like, if you could go back through time, what would you be? And I'm just like,
right here.
About 20 minutes before you walked into class.
Which I didn't have to hear you say that dumbass shit to me right now.
Like, oh, that's the same one. But yeah, like I cracked up at it because I was just like, it's like, well, but think about it, you could go back in time to like almost like any portion of history, and I'm like,
explain to me at what point
you're like where
someone like you would be
like,
able to have a good time anywhere near that.
Right? Like I'm like, I don't know what's worse, is the fact that I'm screwed because I'm black, or I'm screwed because I'm educated. Like,
didn't even like, think about that. Jesus,
I am going, like, I am screwed. Okay, like I want to travel back. I don't want to travel back to the 1950s. It was like the 1960s. I'm like, I get the vote halfway through there. I was like, the 1950s and before, I just get spit on and all this other kind of stuff. I'm gonna crash out. If I go back any farther than that, I'm still gonna crash out, but just in a different way. Like, it's not a good time for me. And I was like, yeah, but is there any time that you want to go back? I'm like, yes, I want to go back in time to like 1990, like 1999, right? And I'm just gonna start sports betting.
Some Back to the Future shit.
Pretty much. Like, that's all I'm doing. But that's really about it. I don't have the luxury of going far enough back in time to make any relevant change. However, I did say at one point I would go back to like the 1910s or 20s, and then no, it was the 1940s, right? It was the 1940s, and during the 1940s, I would start building a business where all the people I would have are women.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
yeah.
as much as much
That's
as
pretty
much as,
forward thinking at that
yeah,
point. Yeah.
and as much as for me personally, I'm building McDonald's for one. But like, but like for me personally, I would make sure that I would always have at least someone who is the face of what my company is, and it's not going to be me. Despite me being the owner, I'm not going to be the face of it. Okay, like because I can't have that. So if I have like women who are the face of it and they start doing really well with it, you know what I mean? We branch out, we start making some empires. Yeah, some kids get kind of fat, but
Okay, that's the price you got to pay, man.
yeah, I'm gonna make sure that you get the McRib all day, every day.
I went back in time, and the McRib's a permanent item. What
Right?
did I
Like I
have
went
to?
back in time,
But
make
I
sure
had
that
to sacrifice it all to do it.
I'm sitting there in like my chair, all old and stuff, being like, so, like, sir, like you've done a really good job for yourself. I have.
The height of
You
my
know,
achievement is the McRib is a permanent item.
become
We've done
my
it.
try to become president. Like I could do it. I'm sure I could. Give me like a
Yeah.
couple months. Go back a month so I could win the lottery. That's fair. Like I would go back to where the biggest lottery was, and then go back and then go win that one. You know what I mean?
There's these TikToks that keep happening upon lately, the whole law of attraction shit, and like people
Oh,
doing like the affirmations. And there's
oh,
a part of me that's always like, maybe one day I'll like one of these videos and then go try to play lottery and see what happens. Maybe I'll try to get that going. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. We'll
do
see.
you remember the time traveler ones? The time travel
No, which
videos?
ones are those ones?
There would be people would be like, "Oh, there's did you not know?" And they had this like stupid fucking like music in the background, being like, "Did you know that like this person actually claimed to be a time traveler from the
Oh
future?"
my
And I'm just
god.
like, this is what we're doing. Like on a fucking, at the time I'm like on a Thursday afternoon, we're talking about time travel, and of course, there's people in there being like, "Yeah, but maybe." Like you're just like, "No, there's only one time traveler, and that's the Simpsons." Come on,
Is that the Simpsons or Kojima? Either Kojima can tell the future or he's already been there.
Oh yeah, I don't even know, but like that reminds me. Actually, I don't know why Kojima reminded me of something I used to say. I was like, you ever wonder that like all the stuff that you see like in mech animes and stuff are actually warnings? Like
Well, yeah. No.
Japan actually has them. They just don't want to use them.
Dude, there is a fucking huge Gundam that it's kind of moves in Japan.
Really?
Remember, there was a conservative
did.
yeah, there was a conservative how do you say? There's a conservative politician in Japan that I'm not even kidding you. One of his stances was, I'm going to make mechs real. I'm not even kidding you.
Okay.
I got to look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, please do. Well, I'll cheer for 100 bits there. Say I'll go first to drop to the future, modify my body to become an anime OP protagonist. Go back to when they dropped the first bomb on Hiroshima and bury the explosion.
God damn you, killer. I love you, killer. I love you, dude, man. I really do. God damn you, though.
Oh shit! Fucking bury the explosion. Oh my god, that's the fucking greatest.
Man.
Oh my god. Thank you for the 100 bits just revealed their time traveling anime protagonist plan. Oh my god, that was
what a day.
Oh,
what a day, bro.
That's my new favorite right there. Just gonna start burying it.
That motherfucker made this avatar, by the way, right there.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great artist. He's a super good artist.
Oh my
and he
god!
also talks a lot of shit.
Did you know that Elden Ring? So the DLC for Elden Ring allowed you to do hand-to-hand combat.
I want to play so fucking bad but the problem is I haven't beaten I haven't beaten Elden Ring yet, but I want to play the DLC so bad. I want to play it.
DLC
so bad.
is so good. I have it on my Xbox. I gotta eventually get it on the PlayStation. But like, yeah, it's so cool because it's just like I'm like, oh, dude, you're telling me that I could just use hands?
Yeah.
So every enemy it works except for Rykart because he sits in a puddle of lava. Yeah, we don't like that.
I don't like that motherfucker.
Like,
there is one mod. I feel you can't even climb a virtual mountain.
Wow.
This
Damn.
I was playing Peak with this man yesterday.
Oh,
we have another person. Peak is a lot of fun. I think it. So I do have a controversial take on the concept of friend slop. I don't think the name is a negative denomination at all. I love friend slop. I love the idea of friend slop. I think it's a perfect encapsulation of what those games are. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite genre names ever because you know why? There's an even worse name you can call them. You ready? Streamer games. Exactly. Right? Friend slop is way better.
I like friend slop better.
Yeah, I'm telling you. How many of these games, Phasmophobia, Peak, Repo, what are they? They're streamer games.
Yeah, they're streamer games.
But then if you look, but if you take that away and you're like, oh no, it's friend slop. That's why I'm like, friend slop is a this is fun, obviously. Like friend slop is a psyop to remove the streamer game nomenclature to get you away from the idea of what it is. And that's like the funny thing I'm trying to push. But I genuinely like the idea of friend slop. I think it's a really cool genre name, and I like it. It's really fun.
The only people who don't like friend slop are the ones who don't have friends. Like, like
pretty much.
If you're like, man, I can't stand friend slop, is it because you have no friends?
Yes. You just want MMO friend slop. Yes, I do. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes.
I would say.
How many times have I talked about like I wanted MMO?
I would think there's a couple like probably consider friend slop. There's like Elden Ring Nightwing, which is just the get good friend slop. Borderlands 4. Oh my god.
Friend slop.
Going to be friend slop. Smash Bros, which is friend slop. Mario Kart, which is friend slop. Oh, Mario Kart's not friend slop. Mario Kart is more of like a death battle friend slop. Because like
I don't know. What will ruin relationships more is a Mario Party or Mario Kart.
I would say Mario Kart. Mario Kart's a little more I want to say more accessible, but I would say Mario Kart probably. Just because like Mario Party, it's like little broken mini games anyways. So you're like in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, these games already kind of are not the most like tightly tuned. But like Mario Kart is worse because like you hit someone with a red shell, they just like, is this how you're starting the day off? Like it's a good way to die.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm gonna wrap this one up this time
for sure. Thank you again.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I appreciate everyone also being here as well. This was actually this was fucking fun. So, as always, before we go, where can they find you actually? For those who don't know.
Sure. So right now the two platforms I've got three. So I've got the Phillzhurr, which is my Twitch channel. You can see the naming. Afro's put it right there. I also have my TikTok, which I'm doing a lot more content on just because I am. YouTube hates they're not short form because I make long videos. I make about 5 to 10 minute videos every single time, but YouTube hates that. So I try to upload it more on TikTok where it's fine. You can still find my name like PHILLZHURR there. The @ will be different a little bit because unfortunately I think I screwed up somewhere on another account that I had that I don't even know what happened to that one. But I try to upload as much as I possibly can on that one, and then I'm gonna actually make an Instagram at some point, but I'll talk about that later at some point because my friend just told me that Instagram is actually really popping off for him too. So I want to try to do that.
I might my next podcast. I might try to do Instagram and get Instagram to come up as well. I only do Twitch and YouTube on this one, but I'll try with Instagram. We'll see.
And then for my people who are here, I see there's a couple of my people here. Aside from the Twitch, where can they follow you?
So you can follow me over on. I have a YouTube channel, but I mean, unless for mostly lives, otherwise I don't follow it a whole lot. I just got to get more into it, more consistent. But definitely over on TikTok. TikTok, I typically will do streams on Mondays and Fridays. Like gamer live discussions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we just kind of just I have a prompt up and we kind of go talk through the prompt and everything like that. And Wednesdays, typically I don't do anything because that's my like chill day. But besides that, that's pretty much it. So, but like I said, I appreciate you being on here. I appreciate everyone else who's also been in the chat this entire time. It's been an absolute great moment. And as always, I'm Taylor from Afro Official G, and I will catch all y'all in the next one.
Bye bye.